WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
All roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest Black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
You see me, you see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. A partner to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I'll be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you would not know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, something, like it was nothing. Ooh, so much, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. Make it easy, say, to take it easy, say, feel so weak, say, easy love. Say, to take it easy, say, feel so weak, say, easy love. I never thought that I would to you, but now I don't think it's the time. I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me. Know how to say it without making me feel little. You're gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. I didn't love you, and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, somebody, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Easy to make it easy. Say, take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy.
Oh, you proved me wrong. This ain't a regular love, baby. It's that waking out your sleep, with me massaging your feet, baby. It's that anything you want, I'm only here to please you, baby. You're in my command. Your kiss sends me a shot of dopamine. Oh no, I never had an interest in us until I met you. And I don't know if it's real or is it just a phase I'm going through, but I feel that it's true. We don't need no labels, babe. What we got is something different. We don't need no labels, babe. Lady, we don't need no labels to show that what we have is something special. For sure, for sure. I don't feel it's a one night stand. No.
WIFTBPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers Niggas out here lurking, trying to get they steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, here on a Monday, the 13th, which seems so apropos. Instead of Friday the 13th. Like, why mess up a Friday? Why not just put it on a Monday? Even though I'm not superstitious, and whether it's Monday or Friday, I'd be like, I'm going to get mine. And so I feel like Mondays are really just the opportunity to start the week. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Not only to start the week, it is also the first Monday of early voting in the ward. So it's a lot going on today. And for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be talking to the boppers and boppettes. I don't know if y'all saw that the ops gave themselves $1 million over the weekend. I went to sleep. I woke up and the ops had put another $1 million in. But Ruthie, I'm starting to wonder, after Riis boy blowing $45 million, is this the election that it's not going to be about the money?
Oh, now that's a change.
This might be the election that's not about the money. We're going to talk about Ruthie. I know we had a crazy conversation on Friday about the whole polling and technology. I think they was listening to you.
What happened?
You didn't see that the Democratic Party texted out they palm card?
I did.
I was like, Ruthie, they went and found your information. Now you should ask them how they get your text message.
Listen, if it's any party that got my info, it's the Democratic Party.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm here to tell you. They sold it this weekend, sent it to everybody but me. So it's like, I ain't get it. Like, I vote in every election. What? But you know how that go, Ruthie. Because when they trying to pull the sneak move on you, they go in the system and they take your name specifically out. So we don't get no mail. We don't get any of the stuff that be coming that everybody be sending me. And they be like, did you see this? So, yes, it is on. The election is on and popping. Y'all asking me about this voters guide. Expect it later on today. It'll come out in the text version. It'll come out in the email version. Then it'll be, we're going to send out the guide. It will be the with the guide. I've been having some... When you do things by committee.
How many years, decades, people ask you around election season or just hit your line? Like how long that's been happening to you?
About 10 years.
You've been that person?
I'm not going to say that person. I'm going to be one of the people. And I think over time it's evolved. It really, let's see, it's coming up, it's like maybe 8 years. Because it's coming up on the anniversary of the Laquan McDonald. Because I really got into it because I felt like we were electing the judges that were, like, we kept finding all these Burge judges and all these judges. Just remember how the other day when we read the story about the I don't know if you were listening when I talked about the Amtrak executive who on the tapes they said, Ed Burke said, we can get his vote because we made his daughter a judge.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
And the thing is, we recognized that the judges were a tool to keep letting the police officers, remember I told you it was like a racket, where it's like the police officers would kill somebody, they would never get prosecuted, there would be a settlement, and the lawyers would make money off the settlement, and it was a never-ending loop. So it was like it was profitable to kill black people. And so I said, let's come up with a voter's guide to talk about the judges. Because black folks, you know how when we went to go vote for judge, it'd be all those names, and you'd be like, I don't know. So you'd be like, that name sound black. That name sound black. And then we started to see white judges changing their names to sound black. And so that was when I was like, all right, we got to do something. No, it was for real. Remember, Fredrina Lyle lost to a white judge who changed his name to sound like he was black, but he was wealthy millionaire. But he wanted to be judged so bad. Right?
Switched it up.
Yep. So I'm just telling you, man, it is definitely going down. All right, Ruthie Moore, how you doing today?
Sleepy.
Did you
Tired.
Did you fest it yesterday?
Tired.
Did you Marsha Ambrosius? Did you
Fested. It was cold though.
Did you Janae Aiko?
I festered. I'm tired.
I'm surprised you made it.
Me too.
Yeah. Hold on, don't be saying me too around here. Not me. Not me too. Not me too.
Also, I.
So I'm gonna tell you what, Ruthie. I was a little leery to go to the I told y'all I was having some anxiety, but I really had a good time. We went to see people. Oh baby, when you talk to me. Oh baby, when you.
Did you see people you knew?
Yes, I did. I saw a lot of people, and it was like, it was weird. It was actually, but I feel like it was like I had good, genuine interactions with people instead of like the fake, phony, like whatever. I even ran into two, and I said hello. Right? I was like, what's up? I think it was one of them, you bump into somebody, you be like startled, and you both be like, but I was like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, this year, I have really come to the recognition, I promise you, regardless of who it is, I just don't have black beef. I got like when I saw dudes spend $1 million, I was like, there's nobody black that's doing that. Like, that's not my problems no more. Right? And so, respectfully, I'm just on the whole, like, I wasn't walking around. I do feel like when you're not walking around with the, it's a little bit more pleasant environment. Yeah, I had a good time, man. Buster seemed a little tipsy. He seemed a little tipsy. Like, he was like, hello, I'm Buster Bus. Buster Bus. And, I still don't know who. I saw the video from Hoope. I still don't know. I mean.
Hey, stop.
What?
It's a Chicago legend.
Okay, we really gotta start thinking about how we pass out the word legend. Then.
Are you serious? Lupe Fiasco?
Are we really calling him a legend? So where does that then? So then, what is Kanye? Is he the same as Kanye? Same level? Same level. Just ask me.
See, it depends. Because
there is no Kanye or no.
What's the metric? What's our metric?
All around.
What's our metric? Because Kanye.
All around.
Ooh.
All around.
In terms of Chicago legends, is Lupe Fiasco and Kanye West on the same level? I'm gonna put out a strong yes. And if you like lyrics. If you are a lyrics appreciator, if you are an appreciator of positive black rap that details the gritty nature of growing up black in America, you will have an appreciation for Lupe. And his stuff has evolved. Lupe has a whole album out about, like...
I thought he was a karate man in China.
He is. He's into, like,
the other... He like one of the weird black people. Right? Not even in a bad way, because it used to be, that's that old party like a rock star lifestyle. Y'all went, look, Lupe do stuff that white kids in the suburbs do. Yes? Yes?
No. I'm not going to let you put that on him.
Okay. All right.
You know, it's black people like.
Do white people listen to it more than black people?
He is the type of black dude that like anime.
I don't even. That's the Chinese cartoons, the Japanese cartoons.
That like anime. It's like it's a group of black dudes that like anime, and they just
They be on. I seen them on Pornhub or something, right? Not that I seen Pornhub. I'm just saying
that's a whole different thing. Luke, you should listen to some Lupe though. If you like,
I'm gonna stop talking smack about these young rappers because
young.
Okay, well I'm gonna stop talking about these middle-aged rappers because I must tell you that I have found solace in Kendrick Lamar.
If you like Kendrick Lamar, you will also like Lupe.
Okay. Well, I don't know that I like Kendrick Lamar. I just like that album.
You really are hating right now.
No,
real.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. And it's
Hove
too early in the morning.
Hove to the world blow up.
See, you talking about Jay-Z? You need to come on and embrace what's happening now. Jay-Z still rapping about the drugs he didn't sell.
Hey man, I'm from a different era.
See, that's the problem. You can't
But we
embrace
ain't
this
talk about
good
it.
black rap that's coming out.
The good black rap to me was Public Enemy.
What?
Yes.
That was like so long ago.
Still classics.
It is classic.
Fight the power.
Yes.
Y'all remember X-Clan? See?
Who was that?
Vainglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green with a key. I can't even say it now because if you say that part, then you get in trouble. You don't know nothing about Grand Verbalizer. What time is it? That was the freedom movement of that was the Rodney King era freedom fight.
You had it on the tape?
Yes. Grand Verbalizer, what time is it? You don't know nothing about. I'm telling y'all better get Ruthie, man. She don't know nothing about the. She don't know nothing about the poor righteous teachers.
Do you like Earth Gang?
Who? That sound like the Worms or something.
I have to put you onto some new music.
No, you don't. It's okay. I heard Jay's got a new album coming out too.
Oh my goodness!
I can't wait.
What he got nothing to talk about no more.
Yes, he does.
What are you gonna talk about?
He's gonna talk about the growth of us as men from childish boys to adolescent to middle-aged success. He's gonna have a genre. It's gonna be 50 and up. It's gonna be man. Jay should stop doing big concerts. He should just do Anyway, let me stop. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Ruthie in here talking about some spreading the word legend out just willy-nilly. But I'm going to let her go with that because you know how y'all millennials do. Plus, she got her fresh. I told y'all Ruthie came in here smelling like Afro Sheen today. Straight out of Solo Beauty. She was like, I got this from Solo Beauty. I said, they be not playing y'all at Solo because you know you get all the stuff, all your hair care needs at Solo Beauty. But it's like they be making the old stuff new. And then they be putting it in a different package. I'll be like, that is Afro Sheen. This is the oil from the earth. I'm telling you, it's Afro Sheen. No, it's jojoba oil. And no, it's Afro Sheen. Ruthie came in here smelling like Afro Sheen. She said, She started twisting. She was like, this is lock shea butter of the world. I said, it's Afro Sheen, Ruthie. She said,
Afro Sheen.
It's Afro Sheen. I'm telling you see that shine, right? I'm telling you. And when you came here the other day, I started to say it the other day.
Afro Sheen was for afros, right? People to make it shine, right?
It was to moisturize your hair. It was like hair grease.
Oh,
it's hair grease.
Gotcha.
Now you talk about the there was Afro Sheen that you spray, but it was like a line.
Gotcha.
So you get the tube with the green.
Gotcha.
And then, man, please, y'all didn't have that.
We more so had the Luster's pink oil.
I hated Luster pink oil. My mama
used
to. I remember when they found out Luster pink oil, and my hair used to be dried in the mug till I figured out about Sporting Waves. I still use Sporting Waves. Sporting Waves. It would be Sporting Waves and Dax. Those was my two. And then what was the other one? There was one Sporting Waves, Dax, and Murray's. Murray's pomade. Boy, you get you some Murray's, dog. Murray's was like. You couldn't even get your finger in the Murray's. And then they had Dax soft and hard. But you try to get your finger in the Murray's, that's when you'll put too much on and you'll have a shiny slick in your head the whole day. You be trying to brush it out. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show. You got waves. I used to have waves. I used to wear my mom's old stockings on my head. and then like I would sleep with a stocking cap before do-rags, and then I would have then in the morning you'll wake up because it'll be so tight that you'll have forehead wrinkles.
Let me just say that's the story of black girlhood.
And then you had to tie the top in the I used to think that was so cool.
A stocking cap. That's what we call the stocking cap.
Right, that was a stocking cap.
I don't even think people wear them no more.
I think I was still
doing with a stocking cap on.
That's because y'all got do-rags. But man, do you remember when you had a stocking cap on and then your hairs would come, like mine would have hairs that would stick out, and then I used to try to shave those because then I meant that all my hair would be laid down, but then I mess up and drag the stocking cap.
You was unsupervised a lot.
I stayed home by myself. We was latchkey kids. Everybody I knew grew up and they had a key pinned to their shirt, or they had a key in their pocket, and they let themselves in, and then you was locked in the house, and they said, don't you open this front door, but you had the whole house to explore all day. I used to be in all the business. Anyway, all right, y'all. That's a whole nother thing. All right, it's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. That's Ruthie Moore. Let me say what's up to He look like he ain't making it. He look like a little tired. But let's say what's up to the man, DJ Riis the Ruler. How you feeling, man?
Blessed by the best, but I need some rest. Tired, man.
You was out there festivaling too?
Nah, we working.
Uh-oh. Reese was...
1 o'clock.
Dang, Reese. Reese on the double bubble, man. He got it. Uh-oh.
I ain't even been to sleep yet.
Oh, dang, Reese.
Yeah, I'm 24 in.
Oh, Lord, Reese, hey, man. You got to go, Reese about to go do one of them crashes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think at a certain point, if you up, you up.
Yeah.
Until you sit, you got to get the second win. And then you get the second win, then you make it through. But then, boy, it's like, and then you try to sit down, then your body act like it don't want to go to sleep. Then, it'd be like, all of a sudden, sit your monkey before I make $5. Sit your $5 out before I make change, and then you be.
It was fun though, but
it always fun until the next morning. Man, I remember how many nights I'd be like, "Oh my God, I could do it." Look, I'd be like, you'd be looking at the clock, you'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna just go straight to work," and then you'd be at work, you'd be like, "I could do it," because the music be getting good. It'd be like 3 o'clock. You be like, "I could do it." 4 o'clock, they be like, the club stay open at 4 o'clock on a weeknight. You be like, man, do I go home? Let me go to the crib. Let me go to the office, go to sleep. Wake up. Did you have that on yesterday? Nah, man. That's when you got to make sure. That's when you got to have degree. And you know who else used to be like that? Secret. I know when people talk. If you put on Secret will last you 2 days. If you put on Mitchum or Tussie, you for like a month.
Nobody wear Tussie no more.
I know, but that used to last a month.
I don't understand really why. Like, it's so wasteful to have to dig into that deodorant thing. Like, I think that's so wasteful.
I feel like it's like those things that your grandparents used to have that they be like, they just refuse. Like, you gonna do this? But they have a roll on now. No, you gonna do it anyway.
It's like,
why I gotta stick my finger?
Like,
right, then you gotta clean your fingernails.
So wasteful.
Then I saw the funniest, I can't even tell. But that was the funniest meme. You guys.
About Tussie?
No. Anyway.
Did you ever find my pen?
Ruthie, if you don't get up out of here lying about stealing my pen.
Did you ever find my good pen?
Okay, so check this out, y'all. I'm real particular about pens. It was funny because Ruthie came in here lying the other day. Talk about some, you took my purple pen.
That's not what happened. You asked to borrow my pen.
Oh, I asked to borrow a pen. She gave me my pen.
It was in my possession. So technically, we being technical. So if it was
in my possession. When's the last time you actually physically went to the store and said, "Get me a Uniball pen"? Because I go to the store and say, I will buy the Uniball pen. I had a 24-pack that some kind of way, I don't even know. And
you ain't
in
got
the 20
left. You had a whole 24-pack, ain't none left.
Look.
So how you gonna say
So you went to the store and bought a purple Uniball?
Now, not
okay,
quite.
so here's the deal. I bought a multi-pack, and when you buy the 24-pack, they was like, here's the Uniball in all the other colors. Right? Just so you could try them out, because once you like the Uniballs, you take them. Ruthie hands me back my pen and talk about give me my pen back because, I be getting the good. I was like, Ruthie, this is my pen. She was like, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Then she has the nerve to go to my desk. Meanwhile, Tennille's here and she says, is that a rollerball 2.0? Such and such, such and such. Ruthie was like, why, yes, how would you know? Because that's Maze's pen.
That is not what happened. Maze, if you had a whole 24 pack, how you ain't got none left?
Because y'all thieving. Because I bought the 24 pack when we were a 12-hour-a-day station. And you know how it goes. Everybody be like, let me just get one. Let me just borrow this. Oh, somebody go in the cup. Oh, this is a nice pen. They accidentally walk up out the door with it. Come on now. So y'all trying to tell me, first of all, again, I'll just ask you.
What you asking?
When has Ruthie Moore ever gone to the store?
Uh-huh.
Or any location, and said, I've decided that I want to buy a Uniball roller pen?
I don't recall.
Ever?
I don't
recall.
recall.
How did that come in your possession? You don't recall? It jumped, where did it come from?
Right there, Ruthie. Well, you not confirming or denying.
I don't recall. I don't recall. The pen was in my possession. So I'm just being technical.
Look, that 24 pack had been there forever.
Give me a date. Give me a time.
What day did we start? What's in it for the Black People Media? July 1st, 2020. How about that?
You ain't right, Maze.
No, you ain't right. You stole my pen. She stole my pen. This
is my possession. Ain't possession, 9/10 of the law?
Until you hand it to the person you possessed it from. Oh my God. You hand me back my stolen.
That's why I was only 9/10, Ruthie. That's the 1/10 right there.
Right. Whatever you do, out of 9/10, don't give it back to the person who bought it.
But you asked. You said, can I borrow?
So what you should have did is went and found any pen but the one you stole from me to give back.
You that person can't nobody hand they light it to.
No, you can. Well, let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Poor Big Swill. Every time I see him, say, "Let me see your lighter." I went in the drawer yesterday. I swear it must have been about 6 Big Swill lighters in the drawer.
So funny.
I was like, my cousin is on some bullshit. All right, y'all, it's Maze Jackson Show. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be back. We're going to get into some of these headlines, plus the social media question of the day, plus the ops gave themselves $1 million. I'm going to tell you about the secret plan to undermine the black vote at 7 o'clock. So y'all stay tuned. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a 10. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay this fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Oh, yeah. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
Good afternoon. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:38 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. As we head over to the Kennedy O'Hare to the Loop, will be 24 minutes. Outbound will be the same. On the Edens, Deerfield to the Exchange will be 29 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 26. The Eisenhower Thorndale to the Loop, 33 minutes. 27 minutes outbound. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 39 minutes. Outbound will be 30. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 32 minutes. 25 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan, 17 minutes to the Loop, 12 minutes to 95th. Today's weather will be 90 degrees. It is currently 61. I'm Riis the Ruler. Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
Why don't you come on over,
Yo, who said devotion has to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come on.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and two, plus my girl, Ruthie Mo in the morning. Hey, y'all, you know what we did not do? We did not get the soul plane off the ground. So, look, every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 is the Maze Jackson Show with Maze, Riis, and Ruthie when she decides she coming in. But you know what? She been pretty solid this week. She's stunned. Watch. She going to be talking about, I'm taking 2 months off.
Hey, y'all going on vacation in July? You said that we was shutting the station down.
I ain't say that.
It was something
I did not say that.
You
I
said
ain't
you
say
going
that.
on vacation.
I said, I'm going on vacation.
That means everybody get to go.
Hey, Ruthie, tell him you heard him say it and you wrote it down with that pen so you know.
Look, but when you do stuff with stolen, but when you do it with a stolen item, then it don't count. You know what I'm saying?
Maze.
Ruthie,
It was
stole
in
it.
my possession. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
So how you gonna come
I'm
in
gonna
my
look up
office?
Illinois
How you gonna be
statute.
in my office
You don't
and
got
then
no
be
proof.
possessing stuff? I
ain't
think
got
I'm
no
gonna
what to
possess.
talk about.
Next thing she gonna come in, she gonna be wearing the backdrop. Talk about. I had possessed this, and I had made me. Ruthie gonna be coming in with a new suit on, made out of our backdrop, and talk about some. I possessed it, Ruthie. Don't I look
9/10
like
of the law,
this?
Maze.
Okay, I got. Well, I'm the 1/10 in this joint.
9/10.
But I got 10 votes to the 1.
You
Listen,
talking about you had a whole pack. You ain't got not a damn one left.
what y'all, you know, that part of the reason we ain't got a station right now. Everybody take one thing a day. They be like, you know what? Let me take. It started with the water. Like I was like, Dad, let me buy another case. Let me start this over. The water. Everybody drink a bottle of water. Everybody be sipping around. Put a quarter in the thing, knowing damn well you can't buy a bottle of water for no quarter. But I put mine in. So then it started with the water. Then I be like, where my chargers at? I got 16 chargers for every phone in this motherfucker. Now I'm running around here looking for chargers. That's okay though, right? I ain't gonna even go into the other stuff that then my ace. You know what I'm saying? I be bragging my right hand. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I need a pen. She like, got you. I've been looking for this pen.
No, you ain't been looking for that pen.
Yeah, it is because I had a whole.
I had that pen for so
let me tell you. No. I know.
At least,
exactly.
I mean, for so long.
Right, because the pack been gone for so long. So then look, no. Look, so one day, I'm on the show, I'm looking in the comments, and the person say, I'm not talking to you because Ruthie gave me a gift pack, and I ain't never get my gift pack.
What?
I was like, when I was gone, and we had the gift packs from President Steele.
Oh!
I look around, the gift packs all busted open. The wipes done been wiped around the whole joint. Everybody, it's like, okay. So we go. It's okay though. It's okay because this is what I feel like, right?
What you feel
Everybody
like,
be like, you know what? It's in here. It's in here.
It's fine. We had guests up in this mug. They was all in here. They felt like they could just come in the studio. I had disconnected your charger because I was buying. Who told you could come in any? Don't touch nothing. When I go to people's house, I don't touch nothing. I bring all my own stuff. I undo my pen. If I borrow your pen, I'm gonna give you 2 back.
Okay, so you owe me 2 pens.
That's all you got. The more of the story.
You gonna give me 2 pens? Cool. Yes.
Nope. That's why I be the way I be. Right. Look. So now Ruthie done stole my pen. Now
that was not your pen. You ain't got no proof that was your pen, Mace.
It's okay. That's how exactly how. That's exactly.
Let me look up.
This is Negro. This is the Negro logic that led to us. You remember how we started at 12? Remember how it was 12 hours? Remember how it was 12 hours? It is moments just like this when I be like, you know what? Y'all gonna argue with me about my own pen? Like, for real, you gonna argue with me about my own pen? I quit. See? I quit. Like, man, this chair broke.
Hey.
You broke it!
Hey, Maze, can you buy another pack?
Those was some nice pens. Do they have red in the next pack? If you don't get your...
Can I get one?
No, you know what?
I
hate to be the lock...
membership. You got a Costco membership.
I hate to be the lock it up Negro. Right? Like, I hate to be y'all gonna come in, it's gonna be a padlock on the refrigerator. You know, like you gotta get a key to get in the refrigerator.
Black people need to be more giving. It's just a pen.
That's exactly how Negroes think.
It's just a pen, man.
It's my damn pen.
It's just a little pen, you know.
It's pretty much just that little pen. You want that little pen?
I have like simple pleasures in life, right? Simple ones. Simple. Like I got the complicated stuff. Now I just be like this. I just want the pen I want to write with. You know what I'm saying? I reach in my cup. You know, I used to have a stash pack, so you could just go grab one whenever it was a stash pack. Somebody saw me go stash in the stash pack. They was like, oh, that's where they keep them. Then it became pass out a pen, so much so that everybody now thinks that they was they pens. Exactly. We talk about now owe her 2 damn pens. If you don't get your... All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Maze, Ruthie, and Riis. Millennials, dag nabbit. All right, let's go. Early voting in the awards today. Open 8. Ruthie, I've decided to call 8 o'clock from now until Election Day, the open 8 o'clock hour. So if you are a candidate and you decide that you are running for office and you black, you can stop by even if I don't like you.
Slots filling up.
Even if I'm not, let me not say even if I don't like you, I will give you a fair opportunity to share your wares on the station without necessarily beating you down, right? I won't go off. I'll give you the opportunity to share your platform. 8 o'clock every day. And we'll take whoever comes. First come, first serve basis. If you want to come in and you got to knock on the door, 2907 South Wabash, DJ Riis the Ruler will let you in. He will schedule you at 8 o'clock. Now, your opponent might be sitting in the lobby too. But last chance to reach black voters. And then I think we should do a live broadcast on Election Day. You know, I was thinking like if we broadcast it live maybe from TP and then send people out. Now, I want to make sure you all, are y'all going to be ready to talk about the shenanigans that are about to happen right now? How many of y'all got y'all data sold this weekend and got a text message from the Cook County Democratic Party? We're going to talk about that this weekend. We're going to talk about that at 7 o'clock because there's a lot going on with that, and there's a lot of money moving around, and there's a lot happening. And I want to share what is going on so that you can be aware. Part of the reason that I came back to the mornings is because I felt like there was no way I would be able to sit through this without being able to give y'all the game and make sure that y'all know what's happening. And I need for you to tell your friends and your family because something is happening and they're using all the money in the world that they can to try and mute your voice. And so we got to make sure that black folks are aware and do the right thing. All right, Ruthie, I showed on the screen a little bit. The ops gave himself $900,000. That is part of the big Democratic plan to disenfranchise the black vote. So the black voters of Cook County. So we're going to talk about that. Like, you got to ask yourself, why does the white guy pay $1 million to Dems to send you text messages and do other things and to send you mail and to send you, probably you the same weekend you got some stuff in the mail too. We're going to talk about it all because I think it's important that you understand why these things are happening. Look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Did you see Hyde Park Summerfest? It was a banger. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I saw Ashanti. Oh, baby, when you talk to me. Then I saw Buster. Then I didn't really get ate up by mosquitoes, but Carrie got ate up by the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes was some boy. And Lord have mercy.
It was too cold for them to come out on
them drinks.
On Sunday.
Was it cold on Sunday? It was 60 degrees, I thought. So let me ask a question. When y'all was out there on Sunday, did you dress properly? Well, Ruthie, you probably wore a coat. Ruthie had on a North Face. She had on a Canada boots.
You know I dressed properly, but there's a lot of people that didn't. They had on their summer clothes.
Man, that is the worst. I took a jacket on Saturday night. I felt kind of crazy, but I was just like, the worst thing in the world is to be out somewhere far away, cold.
But the thing I do like about summer festivals with black people is like the outfits. Because people like dress and they like festival outfits. So
right.
Coats would have messed that up. So I get why people was cold. Because they want to show off their outfits.
I do. I know everybody want to show off their outfits, but my thing with festivals is like I didn't want to wear my good shoes because I knew I was gonna be walking through the grass, right? And you know nowadays you get grass on your shoes, they be like, you can't wear them no more. So yeah, I'm gonna have a festival look for when I go to the festival. So don't be thinking I'm gonna be looking extra fresh. Ruthie, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I haven't had a shave. I'm not getting a shave until the 28th, or a haircut, maybe till the 29th. So today at the speaking engagement, I hope the kids don't look at me crazy. Like, he ain't even got a line.
They likely won't even notice. They just gonna be happy for the occasion.
Okay. Shout out to J Hood. You see, she got the EGOT.
Oh, good.
She got an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Last night, she got a Tony Award for being executive producer of a story about a black gay writer writing a story about a black gay man. And it's on Broadway, and she won. They said this year was the year that the Tonys acknowledged the black experience. So shout out to J Hud on her her Tony Award winning play. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. I think don't Kamm got one of them too?
John Legend.
John Legend got one. Kamm gonna get one. Cause you know Kamm is in there.
Oh, here you go.
I'm just saying I like Kamm, but you know when I saw Kamm on The View with them short pants with no socks.
Listen,
glory.
After Kamm, Mama was on the school board when all them schools got closed.
I don't want to. I can't turn the black people against me.
He's a good rapper though. He's a good rapper.
He's not a legend.
He ain't no Lupe.
Oh wait, stop. Are you suggesting that Lupe is better than Kamm? Now you've got to stop. Ricky, send me the commercials in my inbox now.
I would put a versus battle up about that, and let the people decide that one. Kamm versus Lupe.
Kamm win.
Riis, who you think? Kamm versus Lupe.
Kamm.
See, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It's not really.
Maze, that's
really.
a tough one.
It's not really. It's like Kamm. I mean, Kammen's a pioneer. Like, Kamm is literally.
So is Lupe Fiasco.
No, he's not a pioneer. No, there is no Lupe Fiasco with no Kamm. Sorry. Kamm and Twista was the first two people from Chicago to make it. Twista made it. I mean, Kamm made it. Now, it took him a long time, but
So did
like,
Lupe
can I
made it
borrow
too.
a dollar? No, Ruthie. Okay, let's stop. This isn't. Remember, first of all, this is a political show, and you done got me talking about Lupe fiasco.
Tripping. Lupe versus Common.
Common for sure.
You see, Reis couldn't even decide.
Reis, I mean,
that's that's a toss up.
Reis listened a little Dirk though. Like Reis spoke back up. Y'all be listening to the chopper drill stuff, so I really y'all vote right. If y'all with 61 day, if you listen to 61 day ops more than once, your vote is 1/5. I'm just telling you. Don't get me started. And you know Reis from out west though. Out west don't be like. Well, I guess Lupe is from out west. He don't feel like anyway. I'm just saying. Reis, so who you got? You're not telling me you with. Are you Reis? All right, go ahead, Reis. I'm gonna let you go ahead and give us just one.
I'm gonna probably lean a little bit more towards Kamm just because of his history, and you probably know more songs. But like they both dope rappers, but like it's like a toss up. But you probably know more Kamm songs than you probably know a Lupe song, unless you like Lupe. You know what I'm saying? Like Lupe. Like he good, like he definitely dope, and then it was the 20th year of his anniversary, so he was on stage for like an hour and a half at the fest. Lupe.
20 years? He been in the game 20 years?
I'm telling you, the man.
What's this, 22?
Yeah, the man.
Oh yeah, he was on Kanye's first album, right? But that's we was like, who is that dude?
Yeah, so but you probably know more Kamm songs, so I guess lean towards Kamm.
Resurrection.
Lupe definitely dope though.
I'm not saying he's not dope. But he ain't no Kamm. The Aurora Pride Fund went on anyway. Like, I bet you Richard Irvin, he had to take that back. Like, your boy Rich, Joe. Hey, Reis, dog, if your boy blow $50 million and lose this thing, Reis, you have $50 million. $50 million.
It's up to us to save him, y'all.
You can't do that because if you... you can't. Yeah, no, Joe. I'm just telling you, $50 million. Reis, and you ain't getting damn dollar from it. Just think about that. That dude gonna have to spend $50 million, and probably no Negroes got damn bit of it. None.
That's the problem. The strategy was too anti-black.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that. Richard Daley still in the hospital. I want to talk about Mayor Daley. I don't know if today is going to be the day, but I really do want to talk about his legacy. Because I always think about how many people talk about how much they couldn't stand Mayor Daley. Mm-hmm. And then everybody voted for him all the time. And I do feel like he made the black middle, like he was the rise of the black middle class. We may not like it, but there was definitely a ceiling. But there was definitely a broader, expansive black middle class. But then I saw also the transformation because, like, I think about, like, all my guys who grew up in Cabrini and all that stuff, and they talk about how many programs, like, they benefited from that he did and just a bunch of stuff. And then I think about that and then the legacy of that because at one point that was the base, the voter base, and then the destruction of that and how it kind of filtered out into our neighborhoods that then turned into... It's just... So he's got a mixed legacy. I do want to talk about it, though, because I was just reading this story in the paper about trees, and they were saying how Mayor Daley, it was funny because we used to make fun of him about he always wanted green stuff. Like, he always wanted green space. Like, the kids got to see green, and they were saying now how, like, when he was the mayor, he planted trees everywhere. And now they say they only plant trees on the white side of town. Right? No, but they were saying how important trees are to the environment that people live in. And they were like, it used to be like he was planting like 17,000 trees a year throughout the city. Now they plant like 1,000 or so, but they all go to the white side of town over the last 10 years.
That's deep.
It is deep when you think about, like, who thinks about trees?
It's only something you notice if you notice.
Right. And
I sure ain't seen none of them new little baby trees with the little support thing on them.
You know, Carrie be giving away trees.
Really?
She be giving away trees. They had a tree giveaway this weekend, as a matter of fact.
Like baby trees?
Yeah, baby trees. You can go get you a tree, put it in your get it and go put it in your yard and grow your own tree. They got seedlings.
Using the rainwater.
Well, you could use a water bucket, a rain barrel, and then you could get the fertilizer they got to grow it too. And they give it to you. You don't be getting your still water updates. Well, you better
read them.
You better read them. All right, y'all. Also, it is Black Remembrance Week as we lead into Juneteenth. At 8 o'clock, we're going to be talking to Brother Kamm Howard. Last week he said that universal basic income could be reparations for black men. I got a question because I be nervous about the watering down of reparations. Just give us our universal basic income. But don't call it reparations. You see what's happening in Evanston right now, don't you? In Evanston, the reparations program, they can't fund it. And so now they're asking they didn't have a revenue source that created enough money for the people that have applied. Oh. So now the city council is now being asked to front money for it out the budget instead of the... What? Yeah, it's crazy. All that on the Maze Jackson Show. So that is it, Riis. I'm gonna let you hit the button real quick too. Hit the button because I'm gonna get it out there real quick. I want to throw this out. Riis, I'm ready.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Is what goes on in the house stays in the house still the rule? Is what goes on in the house stays in the house still a rule? This weekend, we saw some crazy stuff going on in the news, and it got me to thinking about something that my old man used to say. He used to say, boy, what goes on in this house stays in this house. Because, I go to school and be like, you know what we did? And we had went to the, and then the teacher would be like, so you went to the, huh? And then he'd always be like, boy, don't you talk about what goes on in this house with nobody. And so and it seemed to make sense. Family business is family business. And so I really have always abided by that until recently I was listening to the rapper Kendrick Lamar. And on the album, he talks about that statement, what goes on in this house stays in this house, and the roots of it. And he talked about how the roots of it are often buried. In the roots of it are buried the history of abuse and incest. And so back in the day, people would say what goes on in this house stays in this house because maybe what was going on in this house, if it got outside of this house, would cause a problem. And so, in light of everything, I just was curious to know, is what goes on in this house stays in this house still the rule? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Is the rule still what goes on in this house stays in this house? I think in some cases it is. But I'm not sure that I'm gonna tell you that Lupe, not Lupe, now y'all got me saying Lupe. That Kendrick Lamar song really threw me off with that. Cause I could not understand, that's always been my motto. Not motto, but it's always been what I've been taught and thought. And I never really thought about it from that perspective and the historical perspective of it, from the slave to slave master, and then those things being perpetuated. So I'm just curious to know, is that still the rule, the understanding? I think of how many stories of abuse we've seen in the world of young children who, whether it's the story of the little girl who was thrown in the shower and frozen to death because she wouldn't eat, or nobody talked about it. What was going on in that house, nobody said anything. We've heard stories of people being, abused in a house for years and nobody says anything. I was thinking about when we had the young lady from Don Dirk who was abused and talked about what had happened to her on the streets, and now she's locked up for killing someone. And it made me ask, was that what goes on in this house stays in this house? Because I think we all took it from a perspective this weekend that the first thing that came to my mind this weekend was like, man, what goes on in this house stays in this house. So I just want to know, is that still the rule? Give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. Ruthie, is it still the rule?
I think by and large, yes.
Okay.
But I think it's changing.
Clearly.
And when I think about people saying like, what happens in this house stays in this house, it seems like it's mostly related to the protection of some adults possibly doing wrong by some young people. And, I think when you think about how sometimes like Black people were disproportionately impacted by the child welfare system, I think that plays into it also. I think that's a big historical factor. And when I think about that phrase, I think about like the people that I knew whose parents, or like my cousins and stuff, who had like crackhead parents. Like in that case, like what happens in the house needs to stay in the house, because you ain't trying to get taken by the system. Like, and I think when you do have like addiction within families, whether it's alcoholism, drug addiction, and we ain't even talking about sexual abuse. I'm just talking about just alcohol and drug addiction. I think what happens in this house stays in this house. So if you got a alcoholic parent that whoop you when they get drunk or terrorize the house, then what happens in this house needs to stay in this house, because what's the implications of you gonna call 1-800-25-ABUSE? Like, I didn't even know that was a number. Like, also, because I think, and I'm just speaking frankly, this is just strictly my opinion, because I feel like Black people are more prone to whoop on their kids. What happens in this house, stay in this house. Okay, well, maybe the whooping went a little bit too far. But I think that's part of it. But I think largely it's because of the way that the child welfare system has sometimes been used against, like, Black families in a way.
That's a good one, Ruthie. Man, that's another perspective to think about. I thought of what goes on in this house, and quite frankly, from the standpoint of telling, mine usually generated from telling family business and not like overhearing discussions that my parents. I always thought of it as talking about the discussions that I used to play like I was asleep, and then hear and be talking about it at school or at church or somewhere else, that would then put my parents kind of on Front Street.
See, it was for the protection of adults. And I think any system that is skewed in that way, like, we got to always be thinking about protecting the children. But it's just we be down so bad, our families be so messed up and so broken that I think when I was coming up, like, it wasn't no really such thing as like no foster care or like, because it was always people in the family that took people kids for them. I mean, took people, young people for them.
And they took them when the parents weren't able to.
So that they wouldn't get trapped in the system. Because that's like a real thing, is we don't want our people to get caught up in the system.
I grew up with 27 foster children.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. Back up. What you said, what?
I grew up throughout my life of living. I grew up with at least 27 foster children. My grandma was
a foster mother.
So
okay.
They used to come through, so I used to hit all type of stuff like that. So yeah, like we'd have some people for a couple of months, and then we had some like we had a house, so we used like both floors, like 4 rooms and everything. But yeah, you'll be amazed of the story that you'll hear. So
my parents used to always take some damn body kids from the church, all the damn time. Somebody kids from the church. I'd be like, you got your own damn kids. Don't nobody want them kids, them greasy kids, having to share my room. Well, I want to share my.
Shout out to your parents for that.
Yeah, shout out to my parents. No, I used to be. Yeah, I used to be like, this is some bull. What do you mean I got to share my room? Where's this dude from? And he's a what? Oh no! Like, if my parents didn't care about no type of affiliations or nothing. Now I'm like, wait, you want me to sleep in the room with this dude? Like, you do realize he's probably trying to kill me in my sleep, right? Like, dog, we had a foster dude one time. He tried to blow up my spot. Like, he found out where my stash was and tried to. Luckily, I moved it because he was like, and this, you think your son is all this, and this what he. It was like, ooh, sorry, sucker, I moved it. Yeah, but does what goes on Riis. Now, in that, did you trust those kids? Like, did they, like, because a lot of times I always feel like the people that my parents always put the thing in some kind of way, they always did something. Like, they stole something, they took something.
There's only really one incident when we had this one guy, and he was like about 16, 17 or something. And he was like it was like one incident where he stole so much. Like, when he first came, seemed like a real swell guy who was chilling, playing the game. And like, I had nodded off, and I'm a gamer, so I used to like save money. So I had like some money saved to like buy me at the time a Game Boy Color. So I was like almost there, maybe like $10, $20 short. And then I woke up, it was gone. But I didn't want to accuse, you know what I'm saying? The man just came there, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to, accuse him stealing, maybe some stuff like that, so water on the bridge. Then my brother started to miss stuff. What he had been doing is he had been collecting items and putting it in a bag and hanging it out the window with like a cord. So you never
That's
know.
some jail
like,
joint
when you
stuff,
come and
dog.
look at it, like it wasn't there. So my brother had caught him like putting the stuff in, went around. There was a whole big commotion, but every other foster child was like, they was okay. Like, like nobody ever gave us no beat. It was just that one.
Now, why did your grandmama do it? Was it like she just loved kids? Was it economic? Did you get paid? Well,
she just loved kids. She had eight survived, and then she was pregnant like 11 times. So yeah. And so she just loved kids, like you said. My grandma used to get a church bus and grab all the game bangers off 39 and Springfield and bring them to church for Bible vacation Bible school.
Vacation Bible school.
Yeah.
Now I love Vacation Bible school.
She be like, honey, tell them to hold your gun. You'll be back. For real. Get in this car. And they all got in. So
hey, man.
She just love kids, man.
Okay. All right. My parents I used to be like, why? I get at Po Tennille, because I left. I was going to college. Tennille was like, Muggs moved in. They had rooms. They was having, hey, man, what you mean we got a shot? It's back to school closing. You talk about what you mean I can't? Hey, man.
But I agree with Ruthie, though. That kind of, in a way, like what happened in this house, stay in this house. I think it's a way to protect the parents, but it's also the outside perception. Sometimes kids say something or something is said, and that does only belong in the house, like.
But what? Let me ask though. Really? Besides, I saw Daddy on top of Mommy. What really is it that a kid could go say? Like, honestly, if you think about it, if you're treating the kid right, they might say some embarrassing stuff.
We ain't got no lights. We ain't
eating.
We ain't doing this.
That you. Off. But not tell nobody that.
What I'm saying? Neglect, then they take it as
so,
neglect. You can't say that.
Fear getting trapped up in the system.
Yeah. So don't say that.
Okay. All right.
My mama boosts clothes from the stove. She gonna go to school and say that, like,
right? And you know it, man.
You know what's going on.
Wait, wait. Okay,
I think it's the age old concept and idea of not dishonoring your family.
Okay, now that I'll honor.
Now we just down so bad that it look a little different. Because we be down so bad. This is a great example of us being down so bad that the manifestations of like our cultural, renderings look a little bit different. But it's the concept of not dishonoring your family. And that's why it just translated to us to what happens in this house stays in this house. But really, that's the same thing as you don't dishonor your family. So no, it don't matter what type of trauma you going through.
Stand right.
Better not say nothing. But that is so problematic, and it creates generational trauma.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know that. I think I got to be more judicious because I don't know that I.
You gonna go to school and tell your teacher your mama gave you a whooping?
I used to. They used to encourage it. The teachers used to be like, "You might need to tighten them up a little bit," and then I come back, I'll be straight for like 6 weeks. Then they be like, "Hey, Mr. Jackson, he's back at it." Now, the thing is understanding that wasn't bad. That was like, now if like my kid is talking too much, like talks too much is not a whoopable offense to me. Like to my kid, if he came, like I used to get in I would have straight A's and get in trouble because I had all the check marks. But it really was you was a crappy teacher because you didn't engage me. Yeah, man. I don't know. That Lupe, the whole, not Lupus, that whole Kendrick. Now I'm going to have to listen to Lupe. I hope I don't like him. Anyway, it's the Maze Jackson. No, I hope I do like it. Anyway, it's the Maze Jackson.
Which Kendrick song you talking about?
It's the one where it's at the end where his mom talked about she got abused in Chicago when she was a kid. And he was like, they kept saying, did he do it? Did he do it? And then he was like, what goes in this house stays in this house, was like generational curse passed on, like abuse and blah, blah, blah. And now you can see it. I mean, that album was just so enlightening. All right, anyway, it's the Maze Jackson Show. When we come back, I want to talk about Democratic shenanigans. But before I do that, I want to, they told me I'm not supposed to be talking, so I'm going to let ABC 7 do the talking. When we come back, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I want to play something for y'all, and then I want to talk to y'all about what is happening in the Democratic Party. We saw some big money transfers. Some of you all may have gotten some mail. Some of you all may have gotten some texts. There is a concerted effort right now. Some of y'all got some phone calls. I think I played you the phone call last week. And if I didn't, I might play it for you today. Because I think it's important for you all to understand really what is happening and what they are trying to do to the black community. And if you are a voter, you're interested in the voting process, I would encourage you to tell all your friends. Take a moment, take all your friends to share the broadcast, share this, because we're going to tell you kind of what is happening. We're going to connect some dots for you this week. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Broken screen? Crashed system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop, located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Reach the Ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the Reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Look, Hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drug from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city. Back, put this country together and gave him hella aid. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants. They paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Forced sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on, was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no stimulus checks, just run the bread, make it high. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations.
WIIFTBPN.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
If you ain't trying to help us, don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now, other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect, you oppressed, it's all wrong.
Hey Chicago, this your man Maze Jackson. I'm your host, doing my thing. Gotta say what's up to my girl Ruthie Moore, as well as to my man DJ Riis the ruler. Hey, let me say this real quick. And I said this as we move into early voting. There are a lot of people out in the space, right? There's a lot of people out in the universe that haven't done this before or have done this before. So if you're working for Pastor Chris Butler and you are taking up the signs of a candidate that we all know and care for, you're only hurting your own campaign. So if you are the sign crew for Pastor Chris Butler, who is trying to run for office, right, who probably at some point would not like for us to be lambasting your name, I would ask you humbly, Pastor Chris Butler, who is running for Congress, to tell your people to stop taking the signs out of our yards. Stop taking people's signs. Pastor Butler, again, I would hate to crash and burn and go very hard against you. I'm going to ask you and your team politely to leave our signs alone. Right? Now, Pastor I would humbly ask that you do not put yourself in a position of opposition, because no one has done anything to cause you hurt, harm, or danger. Pastor Chris Butler, one more time. And if you are listening to this broadcast and you are tuning in and you know Pastor Chris Butler, tag him. Tell him to stop. Tell him to tell his team to stop. Pastor, we have you on video. Your team on video. Please don't make me play it. Please. I'm not playing. I'm taking it seriously. All comers, seriously. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Now, let me move on. Some of you all may have gotten mail this weekend. Some of you all may have gotten text this weekend. I'm going to tell you why, because I don't know if you all saw, but the ops are now desperate. So if you are watching the broadcast right now, I'm going to show you a post, not from me, but from A.D. Quigg, in which A.D. Quigg from the Chicago Tribune notes that $900,000 from the opposition to himself. Now, y'all know who the opposition is. I'm going to let you read it. So you got to ask yourself, now this is after the opposition gave himself $500,000 last week. So right now, you got to ask yourself, why is the opposition in the last week put $1.4 million into a race that he only gets paid $137,000 to do? And then you're going to ask me, well, Maze, why are you talking about this $900,000? Because last week, did I play the call last week? Did I play the call for you all last week that happened from the party that was happening? And maybe we should put all of this together. So maybe, let me do this because, let me back up. Let me start with this from ABC7. Riis, could you switch me over? And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to be about it. Anyway, I'm going to play for you, in the interest of equal time. Yesterday, Channel 7 decided that they were going to host a forum for candidates for Cook County for assessor. Right? And so I want you to see what we have all seen, and then I'm going to connect the dots for you as to what is actually happening in the world. Because right now, Black people in Cook County are about to be tricked. I'm going to connect the dots for you. But first, Riis, let's go to Judy Sue yesterday from ABC 7. And this won't be me. This will be them. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I have other stations playing on the thing. I'm sorry. I got that wrong. Let's go. Let's do this. Give me a second, guys. I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to actually see what happened yesterday on ABC 7, and hopefully this will get us there where we need to go. All right, Riis, let's go. You got it? Turn it up. You are listening to this broadcast. Nope. And you are, dang, thought I got it. Hold on. All right, one more. Give me a second. Ugh. Oh, that's where it is. YouTube. You mute. All right. Now, Riis, I think we should have it. And this is not my words. This video is courtesy of Channel 7, ABC 7, and I want you all to check it out because this is what happened yesterday. Riis, we got it.
Our Chicago, I'm Judy Sue. The job of the Cook County Assessor is to establish a fair and accurate assessment on close to 1.8 million parcels across the county. That assessment plays a big role in determining how much you pay in property taxes. This morning, we're talking with the two Democratic candidates for Cook County Assessor. In our second half, we'll be speaking with incumbent Fritz Kagi. But first, we're joined right now by Carrie Steele. She's currently president of the Board of Commissioners at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. Previously, she worked as a chemist for both the Water Reclamation District and the Jardine Water Purification Plant. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Judy. Thank you for having me.
So as we mentioned, you have been with the Water Reclamation District now for over 10 years. Why did you decide to jump into this race? What are your priorities if you were to be elected?
You know, I decided to jump into this race because as I traveled across Cook County, I'm hearing constituents complain about the assessed value of their property, not understanding why their property tax bill would be late, and I could not sit back and just listen to people complain about the problem. I had to be part of the solution. So as a public servant, I am running to be a voice at the table for hardworking families that need that stability so they can plan their finances, but also for small businesses that deserve predictability so they can keep their doors open during these hard economic times. I'm running for Cook County Assessor because currently the current assessor is not doing the job the taxpayers elected him to do. And we are not seeing the reform and transparency that was promised to us.
Well, let's expand on that a little bit. Some of the problems that you're talking about, you've called it mismanagement with the current administration. But your opponent says, right, under his leadership, Cook County residential property tax bills rose just 1% per year over the last 2 years, that he's making large commercial properties pay their fair share. Is that a fair assessment? What specifically are you referring to when you're talking about problems and mismanagement?
No, that is not a fair assessment. We are not seeing the Cook County Assessor execute the responsibilities of the job. The job of the Cook County Assessor is to establish fair and accurate assessments. We saw this failure with the flip-flop of Trump Tower. The job is to make sure the proper exemptions are applied. We saw this failure with the senior citizen tax freeze and with the exemptions given out to dead mobsters. The responsibility of the Cook County Assessor is to make sure assessments are established on time so that we receive our tax bill on time. We saw this mismanagement yet again because we are going to receive our tax bills late again. This is terrible for municipalities who depend on that funding for their essential services, like for the police departments and schools. They might have to take out loans and create debt on top of debt. This is definitely terrible for property owners who want to file that exemption on their federal tax returns. And this is terrible for seniors who are on a fixed income that might have to pay property tax bills back to back. This potentially puts them in harm's way of losing their home. And as far as the transparency and the reform that we were promised, we're not seeing that. One example of that would be the botched COVID factor, full of mystery math that we couldn't find the formulas for, that ended up giving the wealthy more tax relief than others across Cook County. Also, the current Cook County Assessor is not responding to Freedom of Information Act requests. How do you claim transparency when over 2,800 Freedom of Information Act requests are going unanswered? And these are requests from taxpayers who want information about their property taxes. These Freedom of Information Acts are going unanswered, and the current Cook County Assessor is breaking the law by not answering these Freedom of Information Act requests.
Well, let's talk.
The taxpayers deserve better.
I do want to have some time to talk about what you would like to do if you were to be elected. As you know, this is a very complex process, right? Assessing all these properties in Cook County. What would you do to have a more fair assessment process for both commercial and residential?
Well, to have a more fair assessment process, first I would like to say that MWRD is one of the largest landowners in Illinois. So in addition to being a chemist and environmentalist, I'm also a licensed real estate broker and a certified Illinois assessing officer. I will bring true transparency and equity to the property tax system. How I plan to do this, First, improve administration at the Cook County Assessor's Office. Also, increase transparency. So we need improved administration, increased transparency to increase community outreach. I'll make sure assessments are fair, accurate, and reflect the market, and make sure the proper exemptions are applied. I will also be available to answer any questions that taxpayers may have about their assessments. It's important for a public servant to be engaged in the community. So I will make the appeals process friendlier and simplify the data on the website. There will be no more mystery math.
All right, we're going to have to leave it right there. Carrie Steele, candidate for a Cook County Assessor, thank you so much for your time this morning.
So that was yesterday on ABC 7, Judy Sue. And in the interest of...
I love my new home.
In the interest of fair and equal time, we are going to let you see from her opponent, who was on the same show. Riis, let's bring it in. We'll bring it in now.
The assessor, Fritz Kagi, he was elected to that office in 2018.
At least Geico makes fun of my home and car.
Hold it. Let's go back. Let me get back and let me see what else is going on. Hold on, Riis, the ruler. Let's see. Let's hear from the current. Let's see what you got. Where's it at? Huh?
So you still got something else planned?
Yeah, but I feel like it's the Oh, here's what it is. All right, ready?
Residential property taxes.
So now we're going to hear from the ops.
Welcome back to our Chicago. I'm Judy Sue. Joining me now is the current Cook County Assessor, Fritz Kagi. He was elected to that office in 2018. Previously, he was a financial manager at Columbia Ranker Asset Management. And good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Judy. Good morning, everyone.
You were actually on this very program 4 years ago when you were running for your first term. You vowed at that time to overhaul the system so that it is more fair and transparent. Quickly, how do you think you did, and your priorities for another term?
Well, we think we've done great. We made sure that the biggest buildings downtown were paying their fair share, and that has held the line for homeowners. Residential property taxes up just 1% each of the last 2 years in Cook County. And for the majority of homeowners in Chicago and the majority of homeowners in the north suburbs had lower property tax bills.
We don't know that because we ain't got the bills. You holding them.
10 years. Many in the south suburbs did too, in places like Harvey and Markham, where the average property tax bill was down more than $500. We modernized the office by replacing its technology, so now people can do online appeals and exemptions. And the modernization helped enable a passage of automatic renewal of the senior exemption. Seniors used to have to recertify that they were over 65 every year. They don't have to do that anymore because our technology's up to snuff, and we're winning awards for this technology, for these tools, and for the transparency we put into place. This office used to be a black box, notorious for being murky in its doings, and we've made it award-winning, getting recognition in several national awards because we put all our models online and we're showing our work now.
So even with all of that, as you know, plenty of people are not happy with their assessment. Let me ask you about the numbers. The most recent assessment is putting all of the properties in Chicago at a combined value of some 30% more than the value in 2018. Your opponent says, and I'm going to quote here, she says, implementing these kinds of increases overnight is frankly irresponsible and harmful to taxpayers. She says even with commercial properties, there are small business owners who can't afford a big tax increase, apartment building owners who will simply pass on those increases to renters. She just called your math, and I'm quoting here, mystery math. How do you respond?
Well, it's not mystery math because we're winning awards from the gold standards in our field for the transparency that we have. And our assessments are within industry standards for the very first time in the history of our office.
He spits when he lies,
for the assessments we sent out in 2019. So believe the experts, folks. You know, the reassessment of Chicago means assessed values up 31%. But that does not mean taxes will be up that amount. The total amount of taxes collected will go up just a few percentage points. What it's doing is making sure that the biggest buildings downtown will be paying more of the burden, and homeowners will have 9 percentage points less of the burden. That's more than $500 million that will be staying in the hands of homeowners in the neighborhoods, being able to be spent in small neighborhood businesses. Small neighborhood businesses are not treated the same as the big buildings downtown. Their assessments are up much less. You know, there was the greatest disparity in this system before I came in was that big buildings downtown were undervalued by up to 50%, and everyone was picking up the tab. And what we have now is we have big building owners trying to pass that bill back on to homeowners again by supporting my opponent. So I think that's why people need to understand that what they're saying there. You know, the biggest disparity in this system was always that big buildings were not paying their fair share. Now they're paying more, and homeowners will be paying less and enjoying the benefits.
Let's explain that just a little bit more. It is a complex process. How does a higher assessed value not translate necessarily into a bigger tax bill?
Well, the way our property tax system works, it's like the dinner bill that you get at the end of dinner with a large group. And we all split up the bill, but the amount of the bill is fixed. It's about, in the city of Chicago, it's a little bit over $7 billion. And it doesn't matter how our assessments change. That doesn't change the amount that's collected. But what does change is each person's share of that bill. And we've been making sure that the folks who ordered the 40-ounce porterhouse steak, the big building owners downtown, are paying their fair share of the bill, so that the folks that had the side salad or the appetizer are not paying the tab for people who should be paying more. So, you know, people like Crane Chicago Business, they've looked at our assessments of the big buildings downtown. They pronounced them more accurate than they've ever been. And that's reducing the burden on homeowners. So their share of that bill is down. So your assessment can go up. But what's really key is what is their share of the bill? And homeowners' share of the bill is down 9 percentage points, which will translate into more than $500 million in savings for homeowners. And we're on track for that. It depends a little bit on appeals at Board of Review, but that's what we're seeing. That is why bills have fallen for homeowners in Chicago and the north suburbs last year, because their share of the burden fell 1 percentage point.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here. Just a few seconds left, but I do want to ask you, there have been criticisms about tax bills running late. Could that have been avoided?
We followed the county's plan to deploy this technology. It would have been great if Joe Barrios had put it in place in 2015 when the county paid for the new system, but our system was 40 years old. So many people's frustrations with this system were due to that old technology. And so it was up to me and President Preckwinkle to get the vendor to deliver on this system that was paid for many years ago. And you don't have to take my word for it. President Preckwinkle's worked at the trenches with me to deploy the system. So have the county commissioners. The vast majority of the commissioners support me in my reelection, as does President Preckwinkle.
That does it for Our Chicago this morning. We do want to mention that the winner of the Democratic primary will face a Libertarian candidate, Nico Tassoulis, in the general election.
Yeah. So yesterday, that aired on
and an AccuWeather alert.
ABC 7. I'm gonna try and find this call that happened last week, and I think if I can find this call, it will help you put some things in perspective. But what I want you to first of all pay attention to is that the fates of the current assessor seems to be tied to the fate of the president, the Cook County Board president, right, who also happens to be the chairman of the Cook County Democratic Party, right? And so now their fates are jointly linked. And remember last time when he came to talk to us, he ran against the party. Now he's joined forces with the party. Now I want to play for you. Let me see if I got this, because I want to play for you a call that was made, and I want to put all of this stuff together for you. Because, and I guess I'm gonna have to do it this way. Riis, turn up my microphone, but I want you to hear a phone call.
Spell Maze Jackson's name again.
M-E-Z-E.
And he's running for what? And the last name?
Jackson.
Spell it.
Jackson.
And who is that? Is he running for something?
Running for the running for governor, Cook County Board President, and other offices?
Is Mays Jackson a candidate for Cook County Board President?
Oh, the later part. We can.
What did you say?
Yes, ma'am. How about Tony Prickwinkle?
Is Mays Jackson a candidate for Cook County? What position is he running for?
Not to answer the question, but the later part that we can, you know.
Can we start over, please?
Yes, ma'am. In June, there will be Democratic and Republican primary election for governor, Cook County Board President, and other offices.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And you can give a 0 to 100, a very warm. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, how about Tony Prickwinkle?
That wasn't the first one you gave me.
No, ma'am. It's Joe Biden, Mays Jackson, Prince Gigi, J.B. Pritzker, Kerry Steele, Laura Lightfoot, and Tony Prickwinkle.
Okay, so we're at Tony Prickwinkle.
Yes, ma'am.
I would give her a rating of 100.
The Cook County Democratic Party.
What about it?
You can use 0 to 100.
For Cook County Board President, that's what her title is?
No, ma'am. The Cook County Democratic Party. It's an organization.
Who is Mays Jackson? Who is Mays Jackson? I'm confused about him.
Yes, ma'am. We can know in the later part.
No, I want to know right now because, I'm on my time and I just want to know who this is because I'm confused.
Sorry, but I don't have any idea about this.
But please don't hang up. I want to know who Mays Jackson is and what position he's running for because I'm looking myself.
Yes, ma'am. We cannot continue the next page.
Who is Dinah? Dinah Tech.
Yes, ma'am. We are calling from Data Global, formerly known as SSI.
SSI or FFI?
SSI.
Okay. Who is that? What does that stand for?
Data Global is headquartered from Addison, Texas.
Who is Mays Jackson again?
It's one of the running for election, in a primary election.
He's a candidate for what? The governor, or is he a candidate for what position?
I am really sorry, ma'am. I am not allowed to answer the questions, but in the later part, you can read Mays Jackson running for.
What is Pritzker running for again?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is Pritzker?
So what I want y'all to understand was we were talking about this last week. It's a poll being run. How many? And it was a poll conducted by the Cook County Democratic Party, right? If you paid attention to what happened on Channel 7, the opposition linked his success or failure to the president, Tony Prickwinkle. Now, at the same time, he then donates $1 million to his own campaign because he was polling to see if the Cook County Democratic Party can get him over the top. Does that make sense? So now what is about to happen is the games are about to begin because President Prickwinkle now also sees her success as the chairman of the party tied to getting this guy over the hump, even though she's at war with the black woman who shall remain nameless. So she goes to her candidate after conducting a poll and says that the only way you win is if the Cook County Democratic Party can get you over the top. And how is it that the Cook County Democratic Party can get you over the top? It is to get you on all of the Democratic Party committeemen palm cards. So what you need to do, opposition, is you need to give me money, fish, because now they got a fish on the hook that's willing to spend anything to stay. you give me $1 million and I'm going to go and I'm going to attempt to knock off all of the loyal Democratic Party members. And the way that we will do it is by sending out or distributing a sample ballot that removes the black woman. And because, and if you paid attention to who they were questioning in the poll, Tony Preckwinkle and the Cook County Democratic Party. So how many of you all this week got a piece of mail or a text message that told you who you should vote for? And in that, it told you to vote for someone who is not in our best interests. So some of you may have gotten mail from the party. Some of you may have gotten a text or a phone call from the party, because now the name of the game for the Cook County Board president is to destroy the black woman for who we just saw. And so now what is happening is that $1 million, while part of it will go to TV, what it is really going to is to pay committeemen, the attempt to pay committeemen to not support the black woman. So now the name of the game for the party is to go to everybody that is at the table that is a committeeman and say, remember when she tried to make them sign a loyalty oath? The loyalty oath was so that they could specifically target the black woman. So now the name of the game is, if I can't get you to double cross the black woman, then what I'm going to do is pay you to do it. If I can't punk you into doing it, if I can't use fear and intimidation, I'm going to use the white guy's money to do what we know we get black people to do, which is to buy. Their premise is you can always buy the black people off. So now what you have to do is ask yourself, when you get that piece of mail, under what circumstance does a person pay $1 million, $2 million, and where is that money going if it ain't going on TV? It's going to compromise our community, because what they tend to do is throw money into the mix and say, we'll make the Negroes run after the money. And I'm asking black folks, take the money. But just like I told Pastor Chris Butler and his crew, we ain't got no beef with nobody black. Really got no beef with nobody. But in the black land, what's crazy to me is, because what's happening now is they're going to take that money and go spread it around to opposition, to people who will take the money. They will try to go and buy our black preachers. They will try to go and compromise our black businessmen. They will go and say that we have bought our people before, leave it to us to buy them again. So just think about the fact that this weekend you got a piece of mail. How many of y'all got mail this weekend? Me. That told you who to vote for, but not to vote for the black woman, even as we did everything we were supposed to do to get equity and fairness last time. So even as the Southland continues to drown, even as people in our community are getting mollywopped, they are telling you to vote against your best interest, and they are willing to spend anything to do it. So now what I got to have you do is I got to have you look at that email. And you know why they ask those questions on the phone? Because they want to know, do black people care about what the hell we saying? That's why they polled. They said they polled Mays Jackson because they want to know, if they pull this and I tell you what happens, will you listen? That's why. You heard it. I'm not running for nothing. Nothing. That's why they asked. Because you know what the white guy has to find out? What do I have to do to compromise the Negroes? What can I say to y'all to make y'all turn against this black woman? Me and President Preckwinkle. Wait, you and so hold on. I just want y'all to take a look. What that lineup looks like. Am I crazy here? So I want y'all to understand that right now, in these next 2 weeks, as we go to early vote, what you're going to see is the party is going to be coming to try and take advantage of our seniors. You're going to start hearing all these Jesus radio commercials and all of these choirs and all the people who you've never seen in your community, who have not represented your interests all this time. Now they're going to tell you the dude that they was against last year is now joined the team. And he got $3 million to pay to trick the Negroes. And you got your own leader in on it. Did he say me and the president? Did you not get mail this weekend? Did you not get a text message? How did you get a text message this weekend? Your cell phone number to your direct phone number telling you by your party to vote against your own people, vote against your own interests. That's what they're paying to do. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Riis, anybody on that line? Give me a call. What's up, caller? You on the Maze Jackson Show. Who can we trust? Caller? Hello? Hello? Hey, caller.
Oh, this is Brother Kamm. I'm waiting for your next segment, brother, but your political analysis has always been on the highest level. Definitely appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Y'all, we're going to be talking to Kamm Howard at 8 o'clock. So, Riis, put him back on hold. We're going to get him at 8 o'clock. Are there any other calls on the line? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Understand that right now, there is $3 million being invested to trick you for one person. One person. It's amazing to me that in the face of all of the calls for racial equity and participation and all of the sentimental, we have seen them try everything to divide. The parties, they talk about a big tent, but they've done everything they possibly can to divide. And now, the opposition has invested $3 million in tricking black people. Ruthie, if you get a text from the Cook County Democratic Party and it says, hey, by the way, most of our seniors probably going to take that and go. Mm-hmm. Even though our seniors are the ones that's going to be put out their homes. Because of our And think about who is paying to trick you right now.
Honestly, you would never know unless you know when we ain't supposed to know. Who else is going to talk about it like this and give you this analysis?
I got $3 million. So I woke up. Yo, the candidate is being mollywopped. Quite frankly, the belief was that they could spin her into oblivion. And now, all she throwing, they keep throwing, it's like Russia, right? So they are hoping to overwhelm black folks and black people with the sheer amount of force. They are like, we are not going to convince the black people. We're going to steal, beat, trick. We will use every trick instead of trying to talk to you, instead of trying to convince you, they are willing to trick you. it is not lost on me, Ruthie, that our candidate, the candidate that we know, launched a friend-to-friend text program. Right? Exact same dimensions. Share with 10 of your friends. What did they do? Because they saw friends sharing and sharing and sharing. They said, we'll just buy the list. Because we're not going to do the work. Because we don't have no friends to friends. Because we've spent the last 4 years, so we don't have, you don't have your committeeman that can call you and say, hey. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay to trick them. They out there grinding. They're asking their friends to share a text, to share a text, to share a text. Each one tell one to tell one, because we know we don't have the same level of resources. So what does the white guy do? Whenever the black people come up with an idea, let me just buy it. Let me just big dog you. They won't read. I'll tell them I'm doing a study. They won't look at page 2 that says this study ain't for real. Oh, I could tell them I'm winning awards. You made up the award. How you nominate yourself for the award and then be like, I won? Ruthie, how I'm gonna put a medal on my own neck and then be like, I won? But what's crazy to me is that right now we are watching the Democratic Party conspire against our next generation. Think about the gravity of what it takes to mail that out, hoping that you will be able to trick people from what they can obviously see is a difference.
But you can't obviously see it. Everybody don't. So they holding on to
trickery.
They holding on to the thought that, okay, we can still get enough people.
We could trick enough people. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What you got for me?
Good morning. I'm calling from Evanston, Illinois.
Hi, calling from Evanston, Illinois. How are you today?
I'm fine. I understand that you're going to have one of our arch enemies on speaking at 8 a.m. this morning. I'm calling representing Evanston Rejects Racist Reparations, which Kamm Howard in COBRA, NARC, and First Repair out here have brought to our city a full flagrantly. And we've been fighting this ever since 2019. And I wanted to sit and listen to what you guys are going to ask, Mr. Howard. Okay. I know he's bringing some other issue. He's bringing some other issue about universal income is it for only black men? That's what I've been told this morning. That's going to be his topic. But we're also aware of Narcan and COBRA and First Repair's moves that they're making within the city of Chicago. And we think that they're trying to do the same move that they made within New York City. That was really a stop was put to it by the Freedmen. And I am a member of the Freedmen, and we will be listening. And I've alerted them. And we want to hear what Mr. Kamm is going to bring to the city of Chicago again. Awesome. And we are your next door neighbors. We are right on your northern tip. And everything that you folks do over there, we watch very closely.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking for a robust.
And I have a question. I have a question for Mr. Kamm Howard. Ask him. Why did he leave in COBRA?
Okay, so
wait,
sis, hold on. You trying to do my interview for me? Because I got some questions on my list. So if you let me do my questions.
Is it true?
Hey, you gonna let me ask? Right. Look, now both of us can't be doing the interviews. Now, let me say this. I got some questions, and I'm looking forward to talking to Brother Kamm Howard, because I'm not sure how I feel about reparations derivatives. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But Evanston, I see you in Evanston.
Yes.
I need for you and the people in Evanston to not be tricked by the party. right? The party is going to not count. They don't pay attention to the black community. And so we need y'all to not just talk about it, be about it, because we all are aligned in this issue. And we cannot keep having I feel like people keep using our pain and suffering for their own political advantage, and we cannot allow that to happen. So you Freedmen from Evanston, y'all stay tuned. Everybody else stay tuned, because when we come back, we are going to be talking to Brother Kamm Howard from in COBRA. Also, we got anybody else on the line? Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. We're going to take these next two calls, and then we're going to come to Kamm Howard. What's up, caller?
Maze, Ruthie, good morning, Cassandra.
Hey, Cassandra.
How are you guys?
Good.
So this topic right here, as well as I just want to say, I've been scrubbed too. So normally I would get a sample ballot. I've got nothing, not from the incumbent, not from the party, anything. So I've been removed gladly because I have my own thoughts. You know, I think we are smarter people this go around. I think we are allowing them to think that we are not, because when they wake up on the 29th, the world is going to change as they know it. When you were talking about the opposition and how he loaned his campaign, that's the operative word, $3.5 million. Just how is he going to get that money back? If he loaned his campaign that, how is he going to get it back? Who's going to give it to him? You know, the other thing too is he doesn't have a servant heart. He has not done anything as a servant to the community prior to running for the assessor's office. We're talking a millionaire. Why do you want such a minuscule job? Why are you fighting so hard? Why are you depleting your inheritance or the money you work for to get a job that pays $100 and some thousand? What's the underbelly? What is the pig at the end of the rainbow that you're trying to slaughter? You know, I just don't understand how you're going so hard for this. And you can sit back and go back to, you know, your financial management of funds and make tons of money, but you fighting real hard to keep this position. And then you have no track record of being out here fighting for the people, wanting to uplift the people, wanting to make things right that's wrong. We have to look at that. We have to sit back and think, why is this cat fighting so hard for a position that pay $100 and some thousand, and he's not doing right by it in the seat that he's sitting in? It's got to be a pig at the end of the rainbow that he's trying to slaughter. We got to think about that, and we have to make other people think about that.
Right. Well, what we need to think about
Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. We also got to be thinking about people getting put out of their homes. We got to be thinking about people who live in the Southland who's, hey, man, and check this out. Erica and people like y'all, I need for y'all to be looking at y'all sample ballots. I need for y'all to be seeing if your mayor is part of the conspiracy, if your local elected official is working against the interests of black folks, we need to know. I want everybody that's out today, I want you to grab a sample ballot. I want you to see, pay attention to the people that are, particularly on the black side of town, that are working against our interests. And then you think about why. You think about why. Let's go to the live line. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hello. Yes, this is Arthur Ward. I was calling in regards to Kamm Howard.
Okay,
Kamm
so
Howard.
Arthur, so you're going to have to hold up because we're going to talk to Kamm. Y'all can ask y'all questions afterwards because we haven't gotten to that. We got a different topic right now. You got something on what's going on with the Democratic Party?
Oh, the Democratic Party is trash, and that's why a lot of us are going to be voting with Republican. I'm not voting for Biden. I'm glad that my brothers and sisters in Los Angeles are not voting for Karen Bass. We're tired of them turning their behinds up to us, and they need to be out of office.
Oh, okay. Thank you, cuz. I appreciate you. It's the Maze Jackson Show. One more call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Shalom.
What's up, Israel? How you feeling, man?
Man, I just found out, did you know the black woman? I was wondering, Ruthie and Riis knew there was a black woman on the ballot against Pritzker.
Go ahead. What? I'm sorry? You talking about Beverly Miles?
It's a black woman on the ballot. Black woman made the ballot on Democrats.
We are aware of Beverly Miles. We know about her.
Okay. Because I see everybody crying about J.B. Pritzker and don't want to vote Republican. Damn, get a black woman a shot. I called on some other people's shows, and they was like, not yours. You know what I'm saying? They had no idea. So the Democratic Party is on some demonic shenanigans.
Right. So this is what I need for y'all to do. I need for y'all to not just look at when you get that sample ballot, I need you to go right to that. You know where it's at. You know who's not our friend. I'm going to be very judicious in my word choice only because I got so many haters. Look, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Brother Kamm Howard about universal basic income as reparations for black men. We'll talk about it all when we come back. Riis, let's do it kind of quick. I'm going to go to the bathroom. When we come back, we're going to hit it right away. It is the Maze Jackson Show, and pull up Kamm Howard. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
I love being black. Do you love being black? Yeah, I love being black. Hey. Do this for my people all across the globe. The skin of men fit me fine, tailor-made, yeah, I'm comfortable. And so it seems I'm still chasing my dreams. They told me, watch my steps, they want to pull the rug from under you. This is transparency, my life 3D. You live every word that I utter, reporting live from the gutter. Where the mind's hard to change, but we don't give up on our brothers and sisters. Cause we all need one another. The time's getting closer, revolution, feel it coming. I can smell it in the air. Inhale it, let it embody you. Because chances are the cops pull you over, they body you. But we don't trust each other, so it's just another obstacle. Why jump hurdles to make a change? It ain't optional. Olympian mindset in this booth with my binoculars. I see my vision getting clear. Justice what a prophet do. My music touch the people's soul. Black power gospel tune. So many styles, watch me kick them like they soccer moves. Falling rank and file, this is my platoon. Soldiers at attention, ain't no Willie lynching. This the program. Who they think they kidding? Reinvent the system. Total reconstruction of our mental stigma. This ain't a game, boy. Still they think I'm talking about Nintendo's. That's a shame, boy. Augment reality. Better fix your brain, boy. I love my people, hope they love me black. I'm going hard and ain't no holding back. Watch me react, I put my fist up in the skies like a beacon for believers that one day we return to our great.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. Act 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it out. We need some different players in the game to handle business. So many shady characters like Madigan and Blotto. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this the way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and I'm going to jump right into it because, man, we ain't got a lot of time, but on the live line, we have, we know him from in COBRA. We know him from the Reparations movement. We know him for being at the forefront of pushing this issue when there was no issue. Hey, check this out. Brother Kamm Howard, welcome back to the Maze Jackson Show. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, Brother Maze. Always a pleasure, man, to come on your show.
Thank you, Brother Kamm. So, Brother Kamm, talk to me, man. I woke up, opened up my newspaper last week, and I saw that you talked about universal basic income as possibly being reparations for black men. Kind of threw me for a loop there. Talk to me. What do you mean by that? What's going? And then tell me, first of all, bring me up to speed as to what's going on with the reparations movement in Chicago. I know you and Dr. Wilson, Vitris Boyce, were very active in it when I was at the other place. Then COVID happened and things kind of died down. I was asking questions as to how did we get this committee and how did we get a Latino chair? And I had all type of questions. So bring me up to speed. Where are we right now with reparations in the city of Chicago? And then tell me, how did we get to universal basic income being worked into the equation?
So where we at, we're not any closer than where we were perhaps 2 years ago when we got the subcommittee started. There's been no action except for this is the second actual meeting. It took place last week of the subcommittee. There hadn't been a meeting in probably 15 months. So we were told all the time that it was the mayor was opposing, the mayor wasn't allowing them to have meetings, schedule meetings. There was no resources for the committee. And so, we continue to push. And I think, one of the things is, Alderman Sawyer's running for mayor. And so we reached out to him before he announced and asked, that we're demanding a meeting with the entire subcommittee in COBRA and a new group, Conrad World Reparations Commission. We wanted a meeting with the entire subcommittee to ask them some questions and to get them to commit to some things that, we thought was necessary for this to move forward. And so Alderman Sawyer scheduled a meeting with the entire subcommittee. And they called the chief procurement officer, because what we had been pushing for about 5 years or so was to get the slave disclosure ordinance enforced. It's been on the books for 20 years and hasn't been enforced. So that was a major thing to have the chief procurement officer come in and say, we finally produced the report. The ordinance says that they're supposed to produce an annual report, give it to the city council, make it available to the public, what corporations in the city of Chicago have had a history that they've awarded a contract with, had a history of enslavement of our people, and that should be made public. And what we wanted to do with that is also amend that law and also require that they engage in some type of agreement with the community on resources in addition to just reporting and disclosing their history. And so we're on the stage to moving that forward. Last week, Congresswoman out of California, Maxine Waters, she's chief of the Finance Committee in the House. She's also submitted a request to 10 of the largest banks in America and 10 of the largest insurance companies in America, saying that they must disclose. They're looking to do the similar thing, utilize state and local reparations disclosures to force these corporations and institutions to disclose on the federal level, again, with intentions on having them commit resources to repair our communities. And so that's a big issue that's going forward in the city of Chicago is how do we move them to honor the slave disclosure ordinance that Alderwoman Dorothy Tillman passed 21 years ago in 2001. So that's major. The second thing is that they allowed me to present.
So, Kamm, I want to jump to it because I don't know you got to jump off of here real quick. So I know you also then talked about what I'm calling a reparations derivative. And I've been first of all, let me tell you, I've moved tremendously on reparations, but I feel like we keep coming up with these derivatives of reparations. And I guess to me, to watch, like, I must say that I thought of COBRA as probably the strongest and most vociferous advocate for direct payment reparations to the descendants of slavery. And I know you also talked about the Pan-African, so you all were a little bit broader, and there tends to be some tribalism in the space. But I always thought of you as sort of the leader in that arena. But these derivatives, I got to say, when I saw that you were supporting the windows in Evanston as reparations for black seniors, and then seeing that this universal basic income was being used as a public safety, was also being proposed as a form of reparations. Kamm, I got to tell you, I got a lot concerned because it seems like they are whittling us down. And with you being one of the most stalwart supporters of it, if they've gotten you away from cash payments into these derivatives, then where is this movement actually headed?
So we've always been in favor of cash payments, but, at the local level, that's not going to happen. There's not enough resources in a city like Chicago with, 800,000 residents. What we're going to do with $1 million, give everybody $1.25. So that's not even doable at the local level. On the local level, I look at local reparations as a form of triage. What's the major 1, 2, 3 things that are happening in your city that needs attention that is a result of the crimes committed against us during enslavement, that has persisted during apartheid, Jim Crow, that has persisted during post-civil rights era, and now that is really wreaking havoc in our communities? How can we target some limited resources toward these particular areas? That's the purpose of one of the purposes of local reparations. It's a form of triage. In Evanston, they felt that housing was a major issue for them because they were losing black residents. In Chicago, it's no question that violence is a major issue in the city. And the violence that we're experiencing is the result of the crimes that have been committed against our families, in particular, excluding black men from the labor force, which excludes black men from family composition. So we know that our families' composition is the result of the crimes committed against us. And so reparations is targeting resources on injuries resulting from crimes committed. And that's either the local level or the federal level. And so we see that, almost any issue that we're fighting in our community can be a reparations issue because all of these adverse issues are a result of the history of criminality that this country and this city is waged upon black people.
So, Kamm, I got to be honest with you. When I said that Kamm was coming on, the people in Evanston started blowing up. They was going crazy, and they called me. They was going on. They've been texting me. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. First of all, one of the things that concerns me, Kamm, is oftentimes whenever black folks do find a way to get money or to get something or be repaired, it is a profit center for other groups. One of the things that I'm hearing is that in Evanston, the reparations conversation is usually followed up with a white banker or a white contractor looking to maximize that money. Is that something that we've seen happen, or have black people been able to benefit from the Evanston reparations? Have we seen any growth there? Have we seen any black businesses prosper from this Evanston-based reparations?
Sure, that was a contention, and that's one of the major things that we state that reparations, local reparations, that we have to control not only what reparations is on the local level, our community has to say what it is, our community has to govern it, our community has to deliver the repairs.
Is that happening?
So, that was a contention. That's happening in a certain extent in Evanston. So there's a company, white led, but a lot of its administrators, executives in the nonprofit are black, but the CEO is white, who is helping with the distribution of the first $400,000. So there was a lot of disagreement in the Evanston reparations subcommittee. Around there was a lot of debate, but that was who they chose, and certainly we're watching it. But beyond that, the black contractors who are getting contracts as a result of people who have chosen home repair are benefiting. And we've also had individuals who say for those contractors they have to spend money with other black businesses. So we see this ripple effect. So it's affecting not only the 16, but also the contractors and the black business who they're doing business with. So it's $400,000. People act like that's a whole lot of money. Not a whole lot of money, but we see it being channeled in a proper fashion.
So let me ask, so for all the black people in Evanston, their reparations was $400K? How many black people live in
that? That was the first allotment of the taxes that they got, because it comes from the marijuana taxes. And so it's $10 million guaranteed.
Okay, then we see
$10 million guaranteed, and the first $400,000 has been allotted.
Okay, and then one of the other questions because I thought I saw on the news that the fund was not completely funded. So they actually had more requests than the money that they actually had in the space. How is that being resolved? Because I did not see the city council actually go to ask it put in the budget.
So the legal counsel said that can be challenged. So he's not recommending that. But they have, Evanston, is a progressive city in a lot of ways. They have a private fund that's set up at Evanston Foundation where, just white residents and businesses are supporting, and philanthropic companies are supporting that fund, which is different from the city's fund, and they can utilize it. I think there were 200 people who applied, and they were able to award 16, but there's other resources that they're trying to put together to accommodate the other applicants for that program.
So, Kamm, I guess my question is, and this is me, my biggest concern about all these local reparations efforts is that they eventually want, and I don't debate that we're hurt on every level and that slavery has impacted us on every level. I guess my concern is that it gets diluted. And so then we've got people running around suggesting that we've gotten reparations in a place like Evanston where they have 12,500 black residents, but 16 people got it. But we're running around touting reparations in Evanston. We saw universal basic income be made available to everybody but the descendants of slavery, or we got thrown into the mix. And I'm concerned that by providing them an out of $500 or $800 a person, that eventually it's going to be all aggregate. And they're going to say, well, if you look at all of these places we've called together reparations, how have you felt regarding consensus building in the reparations efforts that you've had? Like, who are you collaborating with locally to that? Who worked with you to say that the reparations could be in universal basic income? Who was the team that worked together on that to come up with that answer?
Well, this is not something new. People think that because we're having this universal basic income conversation around the country now, that this is something new. We proposed this to the city 10 years ago. We looked at what the United States Army did in Afghanistan when they were having this surge of violence, attack on the U.S. Army. They went in with literally, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they gave the soldiers $400 or $500 a month, which is what they were earning in the Army, to get them to put down their guns because they were dependent on, the salary from the Army to survive. And that was the only reason they were fighting. They didn't believe in the struggle, the Afghan struggle. They were utilizing that war as a survival mechanism. So the federal government, the U.S. government, the Army, General Petraeus, engaged a system called reintegration and two terms for it, reconciliation and reintegration. And they reintegrated these soldiers into the Afghan society by giving them a basic income, by giving them job training, by giving them community development training. All the things that we need in our community, the U.S. Army did for the Afghanistan who were killing the U.S. soldiers. And that was a big debate. Are we going to pay people who are killing our own soldiers? That was a huge debate 10 years ago around that. And it's the same debate here. Are we going to pay people who are victimized and shoot our people? Well, they're the victims. These young people are the victims, not just men, but young girls as well. They're the victims of several executive administrations, several administrations in City Hall. They're the victims of public policy that now has them locked out of the formal economy. So the only economy they can engage in is the informal economy, which is violent for men and which, pushes our sisters into the sex industry, stripping and porn and prostitution and other, bragging is kind of illegal, but other illegal forms in which they have to survive, basically survive. So this is not anything new.
But Kamm,
this is not anything new.
I'm not debating that it's not new, Kamm, but that was funded by the federal government, right? Like it's unsustainable. Is it sustainable? Realistically, to propose to the city of Chicago that they give all the black men $500 to $800. Again, the only reason I really challenge all of this is because I think we keep doing these small things and pieces and parts, and we keep naming them reparations or a form of reparations, which cheapens the process to me. I feel like reparations is owed by this country. All the other little things that Salim is saying are therapies are social, but they are not, in my estimation, should not be termed reparations because it confuses the process. I think when we look at
that's a legitimate argument, but I totally disagree with it because reparations is about repair, and it's repair from the federal government, it's repair from the states, and it's repair from local government. We know that the Chicago Police Department waged a war on Black Power and Black Power movement. We know that. We know that there's been many public policy issues in the city of Chicago, public policies within the city of Chicago that had a negative effect on the education of our children, negative effect on our families. We know that there's city culpability, just like we look at institutional and corporate culpability. We know that there's local and state government culpability, and those are targets as well. We don't just target the federal government. Let's say HR 40 passes through executive order. That's what we're pushing tomorrow. We want everybody calling the White House and say we want this announced by Juneteenth that the president is going to institute an executive order. Let's say if the president does that and takes 3 to 4 months for the commission to be set up. The commission is going to be out for 2 years. And then for those 2 years, once that's over, we got to now fight for resources to fund those
But
proposals.
Kamm, you're going to have brothers fighting each other for the resources because they not giving it to everybody. So then you're going to start saying, okay, pick between the black people that get reparations, which black people got harmed the most. Hey, we're going to put y'all trauma in a lottery, and then we're going to let the city pick which one of y'all was hurt the most, or Better yet, based on what zip code you live in and what vote.
The federal commission would determine that. The point I'm making, though, Maze, is that federal resources for reparations is 3 to 4 years down the line. Can we have the type of violence? Can we have the type of unemployability in our community to wait for 3, 4 years down the line? There are things that cities can be doing now that would be models for the federal projects to come out that the HR 40 or some type of commission can look at and say, this has worked here, let's scale this up on the national level. This has worked here, let's scale this up on the national level. That's another purpose of local reparations, to provide the federal government with concrete proposals that are working.
So call them local city initiatives. Don't call UBI reparations, because what you are doing is giving people an out, right? Like I gave 10,000 black men in Chicago reparations, not UBI, but reparations, right? And now, again, it's changed the whole thing.
Again, we've been hurt on so many areas. So if you get 10,000 men, $800 a month, that's not full repair. That's repairing one aspect of the injury. That's repairing.
That's not repairing an aspect, though. That's not a repair. Let's be clear. That's not a repair, fam. That's a plug. $800 ain't repairing me. 800 is a triage.
The $800 made is to move these brothers from the informal economy to employability. The city of colleges have free tuition.
If you haven't educated the brothers, though, on how to turn that $800 into something, no, Kim, they gonna flip it. I'm gonna tell you just like this. You give me $800, I'm going to buy me a quarter pound, and I'm about to go flip that, and I'm about to get right back into it.
But the only way they can get the $800 is that they engage in some remedial services, trauma training, parent training, GED.
So it's a string. So it's a string.
The city of the college, but let me say this. City colleges just announced free tuition for over 40 programs, vocational programs, career-focused programs for people in our communities. Free tuition. These men who are engaged in the violence in our community are not even eligible for these programs, because many of them do not even have GEDs, don't have the skills to take advantage of these programs. We have to have an intentional process of bringing young men into the formal economy, or we'll be dealing with violence 10 years later. I wrote about this 10 years ago. This program is not just something I said. If we didn't do it then, we'd be coming up 10 years later, and we'll be talking about this escalating violence. To keep kicking this issue down the road, the issue of violence in black communities across the country is black men are not employed in the formal economy. If there's not an intentional plan that employs black men, we will be engaged in violence and violence and violence and violence cause forever. And what you have people doing, like the governor said, give me a call, I'm going to send the National Guards in. That's not going to do anything for the future of black families. We have to employ black men as we employ black women. We have to bring black women and black men into a state of careers, not just a McDonald's job or a low, what you call a minimum income job. They have to have careers. And the city colleges have stepped up and say free tuition. But these young people dropped out of school mentally in the 3rd and 4th grade, according to Kawanda Kunjufu, counter conspiracy to destroy black boys, and dropped out physically in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. They're not ready to be to take advantage of these reparative initiatives that will get them into the formal economy. We say this is reparative. We don't say this is full reparation. This is reparative. We are addressing one particular element within our community that is an injury from the crimes that have been committed against our families for generations. That's reparations, brother. We want to limit reparations to just a check or just closing the wealth gap or just on the federal government. Brother, we can be repairing ourselves, forcing resources from the criminal entities, local, state, and federal governments, corporations, institutions, hospitals, all these apparatuses of the American society that have harmed us. We can be forcing resources from them to target toward some of these issues in which we have extreme difficulties in.
Okay. That's reparations, brother.
So then it seemed like what you're talking about to me is what Metropolitan Family Services needs to do. So Kamm, talk to me real quick before we go. Talk to me about what's going on with you and in COBRA. I know there's things swirling around, people talking crazy, or not crazy, but talking. So I'd really like to hear from you, from your mouth, what is going on with you and in COBRA.
So we have a board of directors, and our board, and some people on our board, I felt was not following our bylaws and the McCarthy-Grant agreement to the letter in which they both were written, and that dispute could not be settled, and so I thought it was best for me to leave in COBRA. I mean, I left on good terms. They left, we're still, a entity that is pushing reparations for our people. 90% of all the people who will receive reparations in this country will be descendants of Africans enslaved in America. So there's no disagreement there. The difference between those who are fighting for lineage is that they want 100% of reparations to go to people who are enslaved. And we say that, there were people in this country during the apartheid era, during the post-apartheid era now, who are also injured by this country. And that's about 10% of black folks in this country. If they can show harm by this government, they also should be repaired by this government. And so the disagreements are so minute that people raise them up to this huge issue that makes no sense. The sister came on saying that we are arch enemies. I'm not an enemy to anybody fighting for reparations. Not in COBRA, not Freedmen, not ADOS. I'm not an enemy to anybody fighting for the repair of our people. That's the whole issue. So we get repaired after 400 plus years of governmental attack on black life and black humanity, on humanity, on black dignity. That's the issue. Not, some just trivial stuff that people are talking about. No one proposal is going to be perfect. But if it begins to chip away at the injury, then that's what we're fighting for. And this is a generational fight. This is a generational fight. The harm that has happened to our people has happened over multiple generations. And we're not going to be repaired with one check. There's a study, by the way, that just came out that favors compensation. That just came out by the Economic Institute. I can't remember the exact name of the institute, but it just came out last week. It says compensation, a check, is a form of reparation. However, you must marry that. It would have a adverse negative effect if you don't also include investment, if you don't also include education, if you don't also include education, financial education, if you don't also include raising of income. So there's things that have to be done along with the check, and we're 100% in favor of compensation. But compensation alone, without these other things, will not heal and repair our communities from 400 years of governmental attack.
Kamm, you know what, and I gotta ask you this because I've seen this happen before, right? And I'm asking you respectfully. We've seen. And I have to jump out to this one, Matt. No problem. First of all, I appreciate you staying just the extra time that you did. Kamm, I've seen this happen to leaders in the past where they start a movement or are in the formation of a movement, and the movement moves beyond them. Do you think that potentially happened? I think there was initially Pan-Africanism was kind of the way, but as blacks in America have started to watch as they see the minority space diluted and then our space, the black space, being maybe repopulated by people through the diaspora and ignoring the harm that has happened to descendants of slaves. Are you concerned that perhaps the movement has moved beyond you?
No, I think that many of the groups who have identified themselves as enemies of COBRA, we have to say when they came into the movement, we welcomed them into the movement. They had some principles that we didn't, stand on, or some ideology that we didn't stand on. And what we saw that over time, they shifted. They came over to our thinking on point after point after point after point. So that shows that, no, the movement ain't past us. We're a solid contingent in the movement because people who were opposed to our position are now supporting our position.
they're not supporting everything, but I can name 6 or 7 things that they changed from when they first came in. In addition to that, I said 2 years ago that the closer we get to repair, there are organizations that will be needed that hasn't even been formed yet. That doesn't mean that the organizations that are here will no longer be relevant. I'm just saying that the organizations that are here haven't been formed to address challenges that's going to come up later. And there will be new organizations that have to be developed. We have to support those new organizations because we are getting in a space that we've never been before. And so I don't see where it's a point where we have to, say that certain organizations, time has passed, you got to get out of the way. No, there is a relevance for COBRA. There is a relevance for NARS. But there is also going to be a relevance for new organizations to come in this space and do the type of things that are necessary, but again, to us to get to repair. That is the goal. It ain't the goal on who's moving the movement further or whatever. The goal is how people have to be repaired.
Hey, Kamm, let me say something, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the work you've done over the years. And I appreciate you taking the time out today to bring your opinion to the forefront. I don't know that we always agree on everything, but what I will say, and I'm going to say this to everybody out there, our enemy is not each other. Now, we got to make sure that we all in alignment or that we have an agreement or an understanding. But I do feel like I'm not here to attack you, brother. I'm here to say thank you for the work that you've done. And let's try and figure a way forward because we need everybody on the boat going in the same way. Hey, Brother Kamm, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you coming on. Anything else you want to say to the people before you go?
Just to say to you, Brother Mays, if you want to, help us build a consensus, man, I'm open for it, brother. I'll follow your leadership in that direction, man.
Thank you, brother. I just want to bring us together and figure out how we can talk to each other and not be at war with each other when we know that the whole premise, I was just talking about this a few minutes ago, they know they can start a fight amongst black people. They'll do whatever they can to keep us from being unified and from us not recognizing who the real enemy is. We seeing it with the Democratic Party. We seeing it in this fight for reparations. We see it everywhere. The goal for black folks is never for them to get together, but to figure out how we can keep them apart. And we just I can't be participatory in that part. Now, I can't always agree with you. And I'm going to tell you, Brother Kamm, I'm a little nervous about this reparations and these derivatives. But what I do know is I believe that you have been a proactive fighter for our community for years before it was popular. You was reparations when reparation wasn't cool. So we got to make sure that there's a space for you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for calling in today, brother. It is the Mays Jackson Show. Riis, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we got any callers? We'll take the calls. Plus, we'll wrap this thing up. Don't forget, we got Black-A-Palooza coming on Saturday as well as the Mays Jackson Show.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTBPM. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Mays Jackson.
Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show? What's up?
Hi, this is Katie. How are you?
Hey! Okay, hold on. I'm going to make an official nomination right now that we make Katie the new president of the phone club. Riis, can I get a second from you, man?
I second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Everybody tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. If you vote that Katie should be the new president of the phone club, please signify by saying aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, you are now the new president of the phone club. Katie from Ashburn.
We did it. You're going to be the next president.
How you doing, boss lady?
Thank you. Fine. Thank you. I accept that nomination. Thank you.
All right. You got drafted.
Maze Jackson.
It's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here.
Today, the Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, breached security, and called a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater. But she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, these are the times we witness in history. All because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians. You know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country. You know they gonna tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed. To certain rights we are not granted. The media is the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narrative. Terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. Reparations. We done had this conversation. Right? We just trying to get our reparations.
On phone them graves.
All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Give me a call, 872-259-7474. Boy, y'all, I heard y'all. Some of y'all are going in. Talk to me. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Also, we'll have Lucretia Burtz tomorrow. She'll be talking about the Black Remembrance Project and Juneteenth week. But let's go to the live line. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up? Caller. Don't make me act up now, caller. You around here acting up. Hello, caller. Is this thing on? Talking to you. All right. Go to another call if we got one, or is that it? All right, let's go to the next caller. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hello, Maze. This is Arthur Ward. How you doing today, sir?
What's up, Arthur? How you feeling, man?
I'm wonderful, man. You know, the Freedmen are out here doing work, and what we're doing right now is trying to repair all the damage that Kamm, COBRA, and First Repair have been doing to this reparations issue. One of the issues in Evanston is that we have a lot of people on that side of the reparations movement who are not us, like Peter Braithwaite. He's a Jamaican who is helping Kamm, Howard, and the rest of them to run this thing into the ground. The local reparations is actually a way that is chipping away at the federal claim. I mean, if we wanted to do anything local, we should have started after we secured the federal claim and then made sub-claims after that. That would have been the correct order. But right now, the way things are looking, they're messing things up. They're taking things out of order. And there are too many people outside of the realm of eligibility that have influence in this movement.
Got it. Right. So they like, wait a minute. So you say, what about the issues that we know specifically are for black people? And then they broaden it and say, well, you know, we also, I got you. All right. Thanks, Arthur, for calling in. I guess, yeah. Let's go to the next call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up? What you think? Reparations, universal basic income as reparations, I feel like it's a delusionary tactic. What up? What you say, caller? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, caller.
Can you hear me?
I certainly can.
Okay. I didn't know if I was on or not. Yes, I live in Evanston. As far as this new reparations that Kamm is pushing, my suggestion is that everybody read the details before you decide if you agree with it.
because what I've learned with Kamm and Robin Rue and what happened with Evanston Reparations is that the devil is in the details. You got 16 recipients here in Evanston that receive quote-unquote reparations. All we've been saying is that a housing program should not be their reparations. We're not trying to keep senior citizens from getting new windows and whatever else they need for their home, but that should not be considered their reparations. And that's all we've been saying here, and we've gotten so much pushback, and Kamm and Robin Rue, Simmons and others pushed it onto the city council to pass this as our reparations, and we were livid. We were not happy about it. And it's a lot of unanswered questions that people don't know about. People think that we're all getting $25,000. That is not true. They have misled the media. The media won't even cover the truth of Evanston reparations. These people, the money goes to the city of Evanston from a cannabis dispensary, the tax dollars. They won't tell us how much has come in over the past 3 years, even after expenditures. So we have no idea. They told us that it's illegal for them to tell us how much has come in.
What? They
so
got
we
a
don't
Freedom
know
of
what's going
Information
on.
Act, man. You better follow this. Let me just say this. No, but pay attention to this, because this is what we often don't recognize, that we have a right to information. And what often happens, as we saw in the assessor's office, is instead of, when they're trying to trick us, they just don't give us the information and then make you feel like you crazy for asking for your rights. No, they can't tell you can't know how much money went to the fund. It's a public fund. But that's what they do to black folks. That, once again, trying for you not to read or not to count. Stop it. Stop it.
Exactly.
Stop it.
We have issued questions to city council for you. They will not give us that information. That's why I was hoping Kamm would stay on so he could tell us how much has come in, because he knows, but we don't know. He knows, but we don't know. Okay? So that's one. Two, that $25,000, that SEPA organization, the white-led organization out in Lake County, that was forced on the recipients. That was forced on them. So the city of Evanston sends the recipients money to SEPA, then SEPA gives the money to contractors and to mortgage lenders. The recipients never even get to touch their own money. And I had also asked them, which can be FOIA'd as well, I asked them, so if they don't use all of their $25K on their home improvement and there's some money left over, who gets to pocket that money? Nobody will answer that question.
Man.
Nobody will answer that question.
Man.
So it's a lot going on with Evanston. I mean, I can run a list, and I know you don't have that much time, but there's a lot going on with Evanston reparations that the country does not know. They think we're all getting $25,000, and it's a lie. They got the movie out now, the Big Payback, produced by Erica Alexander, is promoting them looking like the Rosa Parks of reparations. I'm like, they have no idea what really took place here. And they didn't give people a choice if they wanted direct cash payments. That survey that they sent out to all of us, to all the black residents in Evanston, it forced you to pick a housing program. You couldn't even finish the survey if you didn't pick a housing program. It didn't give you an option to say, just give me the money. Let me do what I need to do for my family. No, they made you pick either a bank loan or home improvement, or they'll pay a little bit off of your mortgage. And they changed the language too. You don't just get $25,000. It's up to $25,000 now. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
So look,
I was really hoping he would stay on to answer. I was hoping he would stay on to answer these questions.
This is what we're going to do, because I need to have this conversation. Like, I need the Evanston, I don't know what your organization is, but I need to talk to y'all. And we need to have that on this show so that we can understand. See, I do feel like when the white folks say they giving us reparations, they got to be figuring out how they going to eat off of it. So thank you so much for that. And we going to, Riis, get our number or inbox me on my Maze Jackson page, and we will get you all in here to have this conversation. Let's go to the next call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson show? Caller, you there?
Yo, what's up? What's going on, bro? What's going on? What's up, Riis? What's up, Ruthie?
What up, Devo?
Hey, bro. Hey, man, I'm just glad I followed that caller. She's on it. It's a sister that's on Twitter, and that's from Evanston that I follow, and that might have been her because she's been speaking out against Brother Howard and COBRA and the application of the local disbursement in Evanston for a while now. And when you go back and look at the chat, we've been on this stuff, man. We've been on this stuff. We've been following this. Shout out to Brother Al because we've been following this stuff, man. And it ain't right. Chicago, we got to be real careful about how we talk about this and approach this subject. They ain't been having these meetings, and we're not at the table. And like your last statement is correct. Anytime they say they're going to do something, they going to do us. And we got to be extra vigilant against that and protect against that, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? It's lineage-based, Freedmen. That's why we need that Freedmen's Bureau. Even before we start talking about the money. How would the money be dispersed? Who would be receiving that money? We got to be able to have that talk. You talk about stuff that need to stay in the house. We need to have that talk amongst ourselves and not in public. So everybody needs to read. Everybody needs to read that Darity book. Everybody needs to read the California draft on their reparations research. We got to read this stuff because we in Illinois and we know we get backdoor for everything. But we need lineage-based. Start doing y'all family trees, man. Start doing y'all family trees now. If you came from Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, start doing your family trees. Don't let this stuff go and y'all not knowing where y'all came from, bro. Because we will get co-opted. Everybody got to you got to do your own homework. That way, you know. I'm from South Carolina. Heirs property, all of this stuff. And it starts looking real different when that land come into play and that money come into play. So everybody do your research, read up on these topics, and get in Twitter because they're having these discussions a lot more frequently than we are in Chicago. We need to get Marcel Dixon up here, bro, because he can explain this stuff in a way. It's way bigger than just us getting these payments. We got to start looking at all the pieces on the board and get our mind right for this stuff because we're going to have to push back on a lot of these democratic initiatives because that's what actually puts us in these subservient positions. Right. We're going on 500 years now. 500 years, people. Time is ticking. I love y'all, man. I'm out. Peace.
That's Devo, president of BP1. What's up? Last caller. Oh, we got more callers? How many? Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. My name's Lawanza Quinton. Can you hear me?
Hey, Lawanza. I see you on the chat all the time. What's going on?
Okay, real good. Nice to talk to you. Hey, listen here. You know, besides placing a dollar figure on reparations, you know, black people need to understand, and if you're going to do this dollar figure, let's talk about this. You know it's going to be they're going to cut checks out from the Federal Reserve. Well, who's going to be distributing that money individually? The black people, is it going to be regular J.P. Morgan and Chase? No, it needs to be black banks. And moving on, besides having a dollar figure, look, I come from out of engineering and science background. Look, United States economy that used to be agrarian created a lot of industries because of academic institutions. Civil engineering, look at all of the roads and highways and all that. That was created because some guy in a university that they created from the proceeds they made from slavery could sit down and figure out all these new technologies, chemical engineering, electrical engineering. And, you know, it goes as far as the nuclear bomb. And so my point is that those companies that exist in Standards & Poor's, Dow Jones Industrial companies, well, we need to have a vested interest in our proportion ownership in those companies because it is those companies on which Western society and capitalism are based and founded on. You give us some money, they'll devalue the dollar and send the country into a depression or a long-term recession just for the purposes of extracting that money back. So, you know, to hedge our bet, We need to be vested in the economic engines that drive capitalism. And so we need to have ownership in specific areas of industry, coal, coke, gas, utilities. Do you get my point?
I certainly do. I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate that, Luanza. That is another added perspective. Is that it, Riis? We got anybody else on the line? Callers. So I just want to read. I'm gonna read this out loud, and then we're gonna end the show. I want to make sure you all remember Black-A-Palooza. Be on the lookout for the commercials.
Would you like me to read it for you?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Go ahead. Read it. Ruth. Stop. Everybody pause and pay very close attention to this statement, and please tell them from the top.
Okay, so I've been pretty quiet because I just been looking up stuff that people been talking about. So I heard somebody say that, that certain people started certain orgs and they left Evanston government. So I just went and just researched what they was working on. Found a brand new nonprofit that's about informing local reparations, and then on the national. I just perusing the website, y'all. I clicked on events.
Just read.
See what was happening.
For no emphasis, just read it.
All right. So this is an event happening today, June 13th. It's gonna be live streamed from 12 p.m. to 1:30. The title of it is Reparations, Reconciliation and Repair. Now it's a smaller heading underneath that says Evanston's interfaith community joins in support of reparations, truth, and healing. Community launch event for Evanston's interfaith reparations effort. Speakers include clergy, elected officials, and representatives from the Reparations Stakeholder Authority of Evanston. Now, the most interesting thing is the sponsors of the actual event. So it's an interfaith effort. So this is in alphabetical order. I'll just read some. Tell me when to stop, Maze. We got...
Just keep read the whole list.
Beth Emmett, the Free Synagogue, Buddhist Council of the Midwest, Evanston Friends Meeting, First Congregational Church of Evanston, First United Methodist Church, Grace Lutheran Church, Emmanuel Lutheran, Jewish Reconstruction Congregation, St. John's Evangelical Lutheran Church, Wilmette, Lake Street Church of Evanston, St. Luke's Episcopal Church, Northminster Presbyterian Church, St. Paul's Lutheran Church, United Catholic Youth Ministries, and Unitarian Church of Evanston.
It's the Maze Jackson Show. We ain't even the people deciding on our own reparations. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Maze, Riis, Ruthie, and Todd. Now, not Todd.
I see why they used to kill us for reading.
If you go read it, and I gotta be clear that if you heard, I've always told you that the pain and suffering of black people is for profit of other groups. It is the Maze Jackson Show, even reparations. So for Maze, Riis, and Ruthie, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, where on the first day of early voting, I want to remind you, do not let the Democratic Party trick you out of our birthright. Do not allow that multi-million-dollar investment to buy off the black vote, because they always feel like we could buy us one of the Negroes. Let's not let that happen. Look, for Maze, Riis, and Ruthie, I am the host where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? Wait. But today, I'm before I leave out of here, I want to send a big shout out because I am going to Wendell Smith Elementary School in Pullman at the Pullman Presbyterian Church, where I will be the graduation speaker. So I just want to thank all y'all and wish me luck, because I be nervous around the shorties. I could talk to y'all all day and the shorties be giving you that like, dog.
Can we hear your speech tomorrow?
Yeah, you can. It's actually, you know what my speech today is about? Taking a shortcut that makes you take the long way around. I took a lot of shortcuts in my life that I thought they seemed like a good shortcut in the short time, but they wound up making me take the long way around. And so I'm gonna encourage the young people today to beware of shortcuts that really turn into the long way around. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Maze, Riis, and Ruthie. We'll be back tomorrow. So if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools.